NTV.
Every time you come around, you know what I feel like doing to you. Rukundo, don't waste my time. If you know what I want, just give it to me.
Today we bring you Jackie Chandiru, a former member of the Blue 3 who had to be pushed to take a step in which she has found pride and happiness. Born to a Lugbara father and a Muganda mother, Jackie Chandiru is one of Uganda's leading female R&B artists and vocalists. Jackie kicked off her musical career in 2004 after she emerged as one of the winners for the Coca-Cola Pop Stars. This led to the formation of Blue 3 that became one of the leading girl groups in Uganda and Africa, with hit songs like Kakana, Hitaji, among many others. Jackie did not wish for a solo music career, and when the idea was first mooted in October 2009 by the Blue 3 management team Talent 256, Jackie was more than apprehensive to an idea she voted against but lost. However, from the look of things, it is evident that Jackie definitely enjoys the harvest of her solo career, with her songs acquiring more airplay and attention.
I still stand through thick and thin, yeah, like a tiger on and proud.
Jackie's solo career started in 2010 when Blue 3 went on leave, leading to the girls working on solo projects, thus Jackie releasing Advocacy in both Lugbara and English as her first solo in mid-2010.
It be my dream, Mamiagi, Ijongo, my babe.
This song has earned recognition and eventually earned her an award as Best R&B Single in the 2011 Palm Awards.
Like a dream in my sleep, and I know that you wanna be free. Leave you my fool. All I know in my heart is I just want.
Mbaniriza nnyo ku NTV olunaku luno olwokutaano ennaku z'omwezi mukaaga omwezi ogwa Julayi oba ogw'omusanvu. Eno ye NTV ku ssaawa emu, nange Farida Nakazibwe. Olwaleero bino abantu bye bagayaala ne babaterawo obupande ne batabusoma oba ne batabugoberera busuuziza omusirikale wa poliisi mu Katyabaga. Omusirikale ono abadde ansaliikiriza ng'ayita mu muddo KCC ye gwe yakasimba abasirikale baayo ne bamubakeera bingi ebiwanyisiganyiza nga bw'ogenda okulaba n'esooka ofune emitwe emikulu. Olutalo mu Congo, abasirikale baddukidde mu Uganda, bababundabunda beeyongedde. Abatuuze bazinze poliisi lwa mwana ow'emyaka 15 yasobezebwako. Okujja mawaza ekibuga, aba KCC ebeezobye n'omusirikale ayise mu muddo. Songa mu kikopo kya Africa, bannayuganda bawadde endowooza ku ky'okukwataganya Cranes ne Zambia. Tova ku NTV tukuwe bino n'ebirala bingi mu bujjuvu ku ssaawa emu. Ku ssaawa emu kuyiseeko eddakiika emu yokka, nkwaniriza nze Farida Nakazibwe. Abayeekera e Congo balumbye amagye g'eggwanga ne bagabunya emiwabo okukkakkana ng'abasirikale baddukidde mu Uganda. Omuwendo gw'abo baddukidde muno gukyatankanibwa naye nga kirowoozebwa nti bali eyo mu 6 n'okusoba. Bano amagye ga Uganda gakyabeekebejjebwa era nga bagiddwako dda emmundu nga bwe balowooza ku kiki kye babakolera oba bateekebwa mu nkambi oba okuzzibwayo e Congo. Bababundabunda abalala bangi era beeyongedde okuyika mu Uganda nga kiteeberezebwa nti nabo bali eyo mu mutwalo gumu. Tuliko abakubi betwogeddeko nabo ku nsalo ya Uganda eri ekisolo era bino bye batutegeezezza.
Ssaawa eno ku boda Uganda ne Congo emirembe gyeri abaserikale ba Congo bonna badduse nga bali bantu 6. Essaawa eno bali ku boda atipa UPDF bajjako embundu eri eyagala kubatwala ku 63rd Battalion wano mu Kisoro waza kuba documentinga babasindiseeyo e Kampala okulaba nga kiki kye banaabakolera oba kubasurrenderinga ku authorities omuli Congo oba wasibagala bajja kubasaba basiking asylum babaweereza aba UNHCR. Kati abaserikale abavudde mu Congo abali mu Uganda bali nga 6 n'okuyitamu ati waliwo n'abantu abalala ba civilian naye bona badduse bali wano mu Uganda. Ati ba civilian abangi bali ku Kabanda Refugee Reception Center. UNHCR ebeera ng'eteeka arrangement z'okubatwala mu kampu za refugees wano mu Uganda. Twali nsonga ssaawa eno business nga ziraninga zinomo abantu abava mu Congo bayingira mu Uganda twali even na fighting mu Congo naye ssaawa eno nga tunyumiriza bino naye eyimiridde.
Oli ku NTV ku Ssaawa abatuuze b'e Katerera ekisangibwa mu district y'e Rubirizi bavudde mu mbeera ne balumba poliisi nga baagala ebannyonnyola engeri gyekwatamu emisango egimu naddala egyekuusa ku kukabasanya abaana abatanneetuuka. Kigambibwa nti mu mwaka gwa 2010 waliwo Sseddubuto yatunuza omuwala eyali ow'emyaka 15 mu mbuga ya Sitaani n'amufunyisa olubuto kyokka ne gye buli kati poliisi terina kye yali ekozeewo. Bano baweza okutwalira amateeka mu ngalo singa poliisi tevaamu mwasi ku nsonga eno.
Newankubadde ebyokukwata omuwala ono byaliwo mu 2010 okubittukiza obuto olwaleero kivudde ku mwana omuwala ono gwe yazaala ate okubuzibwawo abantu abatannategeerekeka bulungi. Omwana yabbiddwa ku lwokubiri lwa Ssabbiiti eno era abatuuze balumiriza nti abamututte bandibanga basindikiddwa omusajja eyakwata omuwala ono.
Nanoobu n'afuka mu kikomo kitooraho omwana waawe ate omwana n'atukunda yamutwala nti yamutwala ngaye ati alikuliya ati yajja mu kyalo bashuka kanisa
omwana ali buweejo tetwaye nangwa kikulu tukole ki mutwala tereke buweejo akugamba omwana hali.
Akawungezi k'eggulo waliwo abatuuze abatuukiridde poliisi okuwaaba okubula kw'omwana mbu kyokka ne batateekebwako mwoyo ekintu kye bagamba nti kyabalaze nga poliisi bweriko kyebimanyiko.
Omupoliisi wa kunu atutangire kunuuya ibi yatuvugana omuhanda kuyatuvugana omuhanda w'omukazi yatugira ngu mwashwara tiine kyanya kirakorwa kutwahika kunuuya tiine settlement ibatwihiraho neki twashobora twagaruka bibatugambira ngu mwije nkyakare kandi twenda ngu tutambira nk'okwe ekyarasa.
When this lady was brought, we detained her, we have opened up a file. We are still doing what we have to start investigation. It's not to say that we have neglected the case.
Abatuuze baweze okutandika okwekolera kuba bakolako ebikolobero singa poliisi tekyusa mu nkola yaayo bo gye bagamba mbu tematiza bulungi.
Webale nnyo abaana 3 bakukunuddwa mu kigoma ekitwala amazzi gye babadde basula okwewala empewo y'ekiro. Poliisi eyitiddwa nga kiteeberezebwa nti abeekwese mu kigoma babbi wabula kigiweddeko bwesanzeeyo abaana ab'oku nguudo.
Aba bodaboda abakolera okumpi n'ekinnya kino wano ku luguudo lwa Buganda beekengedde amaloboozi agava mu Oluvannyuma bakkiriza era oluvuddeyo abantu ababaddewo kwe kutandika okubakuba olube nga bwe bali abayaaye ababanyaga ne baddukira mu kinnya mwe basangiddwa.
Tebalina gwe bamanyi mu kibuga n'olw'embeera eyo gye babadde babeeramu ebadde bawaliriza okubba nga basala amagezi gonna ne bafuna kye babba ne basobola okweyimirizaawo okubeerawo.
Nze nina gwe yayanjijayo nambulako.
Bantu abayaayi.
Ndaleka mbabulire. Singa tuli bayaayi singa tetunywa mafuta.
Abaana bano poliisi ebagyewo ne batwala ku poliisi y'ewandegeya okwongera okunoonyereza ku bibakwatako.
Abagenze basatu. Tebali serious.
Bibadde mu kibuga wakati wali ku Buganda Road. Mu mawulire amalala abasirikale ba KCCA baliko omusajja gwe bawanyisiganyiza naye ebisongovu olwaleero nga bamulanga okuyita mu muddo gwe baasimba okunyiriza ekibuga. Bino bibaddewo ku subway okuliraana Crested Towers. KCCA era eriko ekikweketo kyekoze mwekwatidde abantu ababadde batimba ebipande ku miti n'ebizimbe mu kibuga ekikulu.
Akapande nga kana abantu abamu bakatunira ne bakazimuula nga tamanyi nti kayinza obbazaalira obulabe. Oba oliawo kino kividdeko omusajja ono agamba nti musirikale okwogera ebisongovu n'abasirikale ba KCCA abamulanze okuyita mu muddo mbw ate bamugambyeko n'abagirayo emundu.
Chikirizwa kujja kunzigirayo mundu ngo. Have I put anybody under any point? You were here. But I didn't see him footing it. Please, remove Wali nachisayo. Nachisayo ne mugamba toje. Sene mulamerako. Wali kunzigirayo mundu pisto.
Yewozezzaako nga bategeeza nga bakesi babadde baagala okumugyako pisto ye naye nga biterere.
This is a man who came here. To touch my waist. Ayise mu muddo n'omubuuza lwaki oyise mu muddo kyakoze. Yayanguye mangu kunzigirayo pisto.
Kyokka nabo bamulemeddeko ne bamusaba beeyanjulire.
So you identify yourself. I'm a police officer. You identify yourself. If you want to talk to me, talk to me. Even we don't want to talk to you. No, I'm a police officer. I'm not using force for me. It's my car.
Kino tekibamalidde kwe kusalawo okuyita omusirikale wa traffic ne bamugamba muwe mundu gy'abadde nayo kyokka ne yerema.
Yafuna boda. Agande tambula naye. Just send it to him. You hand it to him. You go. I am going. We are not going.
Oluvannyuma lw'abasajja baze mu ngoye za leeya ne boogera naye era n'akkiriza okugenda nabo. Wabula abakulu mu kesi ze bategeezezza nti okukwatibwako omusajja ono tebakumanyi. Ate ebyo nga biri bityo olwa amaduuka abiri agaggaddwa n'abagakoleramu ne bakwatibwa nga bano balangibwa gwa kutima bipande ebiranga kampuni zaabwe ku miti gy'amasannyalaze mu Kampala wamu n'ebisenge. Kino kiddiridde KCCA okukola ekikwekweto mu Kampala ku kizimbe kya Nalobega Complex n'ebizimbe ebirala. Abakwate beewozezzaako buli omu ngeri ey'enjawulo.
Nabe nga muli wa KCCA nenjibikako bulungi nenjibanika waggulu.
Era tutegedde ensobi yaffe nembale nsaba abatoyo omukisa omulala tetujja kuddamu tukitegedde.
Ye ayogerera KCCA Peter Kawuju agamba nti kwakuza gwa Nagomula omuntu okujja mawaza ekibuga.
Gye tuvuddeko emabega mubadde mulaba abantu abasinga batimba posters zino ku bisenge ku miti gy'amasannyalaze okubijjako nga bimaze okujja mawaza ekibuga kitwetaagisa ssente ate kitwala obudde ng'ogyeko okulaba nti ekibuga kirabisa bubi ekibuga.
KCCA egamba nti ebikwekweto by'engeri eno bikyagenda mu maaso.
Oliko NTV ku ssaawa mu eddakiika ziri 10 eziyiseeko ke kaseera tummulemu katono ddala naye tovaawo tugenda kudda n'ekitundu ekyokubiri era bino bye bimu ku bikirimu. Katikkiro Walusimbi alambudde ekizimbe kya Kabaka eky'e Katwe omulimu agusiimye. Muzungulu tosubwa ebigambo bya Golola Moses n'obukodyo bw'akozesa mu kulwana.
This is NTV.
Jangwe, no, baby.
To be honest, it's one of the most scary genres of music for me.
For me every day. Jangwe, no, baby.
To be honest, it's one of the most scary genres of music for me.
For me every day.
Irifemasi nisu tadi magero.
We know that all music is beautiful, and that's why NTV brings you the catalogue. Every day at 2:15 p.m. with the classics on Monday. We know that all music is beautiful, and that's why NTV brings you the catalogue. Every day at 2:15 p.m. with the classics on Monday. Reggae on Tuesday, country on Wednesday, Africa on Thursday, and love ballads on Friday.
You're like a dream come true. Just wanna be with you.
The beautiful sound of music only on NTV, your official music station.
Kwene embeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakuggwamu mama
bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale
sogera byange kibanda bana bagamba nga nebagamba ne bwagala nkubulira ebyange ja tugende emyanzi
mpulira abanyumya babeera bakujerega waliko omusawo w'ekinansi e South Africa baba bakujerega obituufu
baba banjerega oyo mufere mubbi yennyini yeetaaga miggo
omuntu wa bulijjo tomuzeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakuggwamu mama
bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale
sogera byange kibanda bana bagamba nga nebagamba ne bwagala nkubulira ebyange ja tugende emyanzi
mpulira abanyumya babeera bakujerega waliko omusawo w'ekinansi e South Africa baba bakujerega obituufu
baba banjerega oyo mufere mubbi yennyini yeetaaga miggo
omuntu wa bulijjo tomuzannyirangako abeeranga dormant volcano
bwemba mukkiriza nina takuwa mugiyita
ate takuwa gobeera mugoberezi tolowooza nti buli mulimo gwonna oyogerera omusiraamu singa naakubuuza nti katonda yagamba atya
bwe oli pasita ng'okyawa olimba obba oyenda olina abakazi basatu please heaven is waiting for you. One day you'll pay and soon your time is out.
Otiisa mmoni.
Sitiisa. Nkubuulira Yesu talimba.
Ebintu mbimala mulundi gumu. Kati what is I love peace.
Gwokola byo.
Wegase n'omusajja mutwale mabi.
It's party time every day at 4:30 p.m. Feel the music. Try out your favorite dance strokes. Watch the latest music videos from artists around the world as you dance to the beat.
Girl, you got me screaming fiesta. Body language saying whatever.
Only on The Beat, Monday to Friday on NTV, your official groove station.
Tukyaliko NTV kusaawa eddakiika ziri 16. Mumawulire amalala, Katikkiro Engineer JB Walusimbi asiimye engeri omulimu gw'okuzimba ekizimbe kya Kabaka e Katwe gye gutambuziddwamu. Katikkiro abadde wamu n'abakungu abalala okuva e Mengo balambudde ekizimbe kino ekya Muganziwaza okulaba omulimu wa wegutuuse. Muganzi.
Akawungezi ka leero tuli wano nga kabineti ya Ssaabasajja okulaba omulimu ogukoleddwa wano e Katwe. Tusobodde okulambula ekizimbe kyonna era omulimu tugusiimye. Mu wiiki singa 3 tuyinza okuba nga ekizimbe kituuse ku mutindo ogunaasobozesa Ssaabasajja okukigulawo. N'olwekyo kino ntandikwa nnungi kulaba nti Obwakabaka bugenda bufuna ebintu ebiyinza okujjamu ssente ate okugenda nga era kino kyekimu ku bituluubirira nti ne mu maaso eyo twagala okulaba projekiti endala nnyingi nga zino naye n'endala ezifaanana waliwo endala eziri zetulowoozaako tulowooza nti nazo ezo osanga bwe zinaateekebwa mu nkola kijja kuba nga tweyongera. Kubanga kino kitwalanga era bwe mulaba bakadde baffe abaaliwo abasooka mu gavumenti ya Ssaabasajja mu gavumenti ya Muteesa, olaba nga kooti y'e Mengo, ebizimbe ebyekikanga ekyo olaba baakola baazimba ebizimbe. N'olwekyo naffe ku mulembe guno ogwa Ssaabasajja Mutebi Ronald Mutebi owokubiri twagala okuleka kyetaaga okulaba nti twongera ku ekyo abo bakadde baffe kye baakola.
NTV kusaawa mwabadde Engineer JB Walusimbi. Abanenya Golola Moses nti yakubiddwa bubi nnyo mu munenya nga mulekamu. Ekisooka tatya kuvaayo kulaga nti alina ky'asobola okukola, n'ekyokubiri mu muzannyo gwonna wabaawo awangula ne gwe bawangudde. Abantu batandise okugeresa engero ezijerega nga olw'amaanyi tolina ne weesiba ku bintu n'endala nnyingi. Wiiki okutwaliza wamu tugenda kugimala nga tewali nnyo mbojjanyi okuggyako nti baatuwadde Zambia ttiimu etajja kuba nnyangu mu kkuba mu za qualifier ya Africa Cup of Nations. Zungulu.
You come to the center.
Yawuta supu w'abannansi mu katale.
Yali enkoko embisi bw'ayita mu kamooli.
Gasirika busindisi binne bali wali erwa. Olwaleero batutumire ku balabi baffe abazungulu ng'ab'omu mpale tobasaidiza ekyebongotoko, ab'omu mpambiraawo nti mutuweerezangayo ku ngoma, ab'emaanyi mu ssingo, ab'ewa Kimese mu nsangi, ab'omu mbizinnya oba ey'okutaano yabulirawa. Tutumidde ne kukaaba kumba masiko ti munnange bulijjo tukusabira Mukama yeebale kukuyisa mu misango gya mirongooti. Abasajja baali bakwesibyeko. Abeekayunga nammwe mugyebale nga mulabye n'agavubuka agakwata embizzi zammwe n'ente. Baatugambye omuvubuka yavudde e Kampala ng'oba anywedde biki nadda ku nte ya Nnaalongo n'agyerippako kyokka bannange. Sajja akutte ende naye batugambye avuddeyo Ntunda n'ajja waagirabye n'emusaaliza.
Yavudde Ntunda. Kati oba ente yamusaalizaako ki? Kati olwo yagisanze mu kiraalo?
N'agiweetako mu kasiko weebadde eri?
Mu kasiko ani yamulabe? Mwenna mubadde mugenze kulima emitala.
Kumusigala nte ng'agiriko waati. Omuvubuka n'agamba sooka osibe piki.
Kale tutegedde totugereza. Owange muvubuka gwe atalina nsonyi. Otuuka otya okukakenta omukwano?
Kintu kinyigidde bujjizi.
Olwo bwe kikujjidde n'ofuna eddaala oba?
Owalampye otya ofunye eddaala?
Tonyomize naawe.
Nyumya!
Ogisibye magulu.
Oyo wa mutabani wo oyinza okulwala ensonyi ne zikumalako emyaka 5. Mwene enkuba efukumukanga ki mu kifo ky'okulima ali ku nte z'abandi. Munyagwa. Eno enkuba tetulemesezza olukuŋŋaana ogamba. Ebisooto biringa ebisooto. Oba lindira ku bbukya wano ekkubo lisooke likale. Abantu banyumya ndi bayita mu ttanuulu gwe n'ebisooto bitya.
naye omanyi munyagwa ddayo awaka.
Twali waka nawe essaawa zino oyinza okutwala omusajja omukulu ewaka.
Kale oli musajja mukulu naye kirabika ogenda kuddayo siimule ne ku ngatta ezo.
Ekyewaka tekiyinza kukola tuteeke alternative nanetezaga nti banfuge bantwale ewaka.
Kijja kukola mpozi nga tonnakoowa kuleekaana na poliisi. Utyo kati oba okooye genda emyala gy'ebwayise egikwekalakasisa giveeko girekere eggolola yali kunga gavumenti n'egigogola. ya akatonda keeko keeko
njagala mbakubira omusajja nga teseekwasa njala.
Twakumanyiira ebyo byakutiisatiisa olinga bano abakulembeze baffe abasiiba beewaana tujja kukola kino tujja kukola kiri era ffe bannange mulinde mulabe. Simanyi okuva lwe walwana n'ennagi wamala n'oyiga kickboxing owaddala.
Eno style gye baleese nze bulijjo gye mbagambako nti kickboxing kwe kuba omusajja eŋŋumi ng'ate bw'omukuba n'emigere.
Otyo luli gwe wakolanga obungolingoli.
Ku mulundi guno kabasabasazeewo teri bungolingoli gundi leka mbakubira omusajja ayite ku mwala gwe bwayise.
Omuhangale ye ayogeza bukkakkamu.
Fel vagyok készülve én is erre a mérkőzésre.
Mundeke mmwe mujja kulaba nja mubakubira sisimu obutunda n'enkoko mumuleka awogane.
Ati temuli kuyoola naye ab'emu owino banninde ngenda kumukuba pakati ayitewo.
Ate obwakuno baakugamba tebukya oyinza okwewaana omwaka mulamba olunaku lwennyini ne lutuuka n'osooka owulira kye bayita eŋŋuumi. Laba eŋŋuumi gwe 1 2 nja kabuukira nkalume agudde ekigwo. Eŋŋuumi 1 2 1 2 gololo nosobola gwe ng'ogwa nnyo bw'otyo. Nja kusobola bannange mundeke. Owe mama zambokyo nzita. Golola mbivuddemu eyali agamba okukuba omuhangala agwe mwala kirabika gwe basudde mu binnya bya paaka ya taxi. Ye kati kooki wa agambye eki ku ngeri gye bakubyemu endondi.
Kooki wange ngambye nti nakoze nnyo training y'amagulu.
Eyo si training eyo mmere gye wasoose okulya.
Byonna bya zungururu.
Oyo ye Golola Moses of Uganda. Mwebale kubeera ku NTV ku ssaawa eddakiika 24 eziyiseeko awo tugenda okumuliramu tukomewo n'ekitundu eky'ebyemizannyo tova ku NTV.
This is NTV.
It's party time every day at 4:30 p.m. Feel the music. Try out your favorite dance strokes. Watch the latest music videos from artists around the world as you dance to the beat.
Girl, you got me screaming fiesta, body language saying.
It's party time every day at 4:30 p.m. Feel the music. Try out your favorite dance strokes. Watch the latest music videos from artists around the world as you dance to the beat.
Girl, you got me screaming fiesta, body language saying whatever.
Only on The Beat, Monday to Friday on NTV, your official groove station. Your Saturday afternoons just got better on NTV with Exposed. Join Cats and the Platinum DJs as they...
This is NTV.
NTV ku ssaawa emu ebula eddakiika 3 zokka okuwera emu. N'ekitundu mu mizannyo olwaleero bannayuganda balina essuubi nti ttiimu ya Uganda Cranes esobola okuyita ku Zambia okwesogga empaka ez'akamalirizo ez'ekikopo kya Africa. Mu kukwata obululu olunaku lw'eggulo, Uganda yasuuliddwa ku Zambia bannantameggwa b'empaka zino, ekintu ekiraliikiriza abamu. Abawagizi bagamba nti we bituuse Uganda yeetaaga essaala okuyitawo.
Nsobola okwebaza kusooka Katonda nti yasalawo buli kimu. Ekyokubiri nti njagala nnyo okubira omulanga eri buli muzannyi yenna gy'asambira mu club ye nga professional football player oba owawaka mu local club eno, nti tuleme kubeera excited nti akiwedde. Mulaba ebyali ku Uganda ne Kenya, abantu baali bamanyi nti tukubye Kenya, but Katonda yasalawo. Anything is possible in the game of football mu mupiira. So nsaba bannayuganda bonna babeere mabega wa Cranes nga bwe babadde okulaba nti weetuuse wano okutuuka ku tulo ey'eggulu nga bwe yabadde, nti tubeere nga tetujaganya nnyo okujjako nga tumaze okujja mu Zambia.
Wadde tugenda kuzanya champion wa Africa, naye nze nkitunuliramu nti ffe tusooka okugenda eri. Results zetunaaba tujja eri Zambia zigenda tuyamba nnyo okumanya ekyokukola nga tuli wanawaka. Ekirungi ffe tusembayo okuzanyira waka wano.
Bwe ntunulira ttiimu yaffe bwe tuba nga tunaba tuzannya omuzannyo gula attacking, kulumba omulabe, kulumba ba opponent baffe, nsuubira nti omuzannyo tujja guwangula.
Susan Mwonge nga y'omu ku bagenda okwetaba mu mpaka za mmotoka ezinaabaawo Ssabbiiti ejja, agamba nti mwetegefu bulungi okuvuganya n'abasajja. Empaka zino eza Pearl of Africa zisuubirwa okubamu abavuzi abasukka mu 30.
Omwaka guno nkyali ku ntikko kuba bw'olaba standings nga bwe ziri, abantu omukaaga ogusooka nga nange mwendi points ze bayina zisobola okubatuusa ku buwanguzi bwa championship eno y'omwaka guno. So kyenyeza okugamba nti omwaka oguwedde balina ebisima byagwo n'omwaka guno gulina ebisima byagwo. Kati bwe nvaayo ne mbawangulira Pearl ogenda kulaba ate nga ngenze ku ntikko, era chances zikyaliwo nnyingi nnyo.
This is NTV.
Oli ku NTV ku ssaawa emu eddakiika ebula 2 zokka okuwera emu n'ekitundu, awo bwennyini bwe tugenda okukoma olwakadde tetugenda nakutuusaako ntebereza ya budde, naye girinde mawulire gaffe agaddako. Farida Nakazibu nze mbaagaliza wiikendi ennungi okutuusa lwenkya. Siba bulungi, mweraba.
This is NTV.
Bakuma omuliro n'enzikiza omuliro, bayimba ebitaliyo n'ennyimba ebiriyo, bwekubakuba munene. Bakuma omuliro n'enzikiza omuliro, bayimba ebitaliyo n'ennyimba ebiriyo, bwekubakuba munene nse munene asingayo.
Jose Chameleone, whose real names are Joseph Mayanja, is one of Uganda's all-time major artists. His music is enjoyed by people of all ages. People who don't understand the meaning of the words in his songs tend to know most, if not all, of the lyrics. Chameleone went to Nakasero Primary School in Kampala and then headed on to Kawempe Muslim School for his O-level and later finished at Progressive Secondary School. He started his road to fame while in Kawempe. It all started when he entered a Write the School Anthem competition, which he immediately won. Chameleone's talent was then recognized and he soon started singing and performing in small local clubs as an MC. He regularly sang some of his own songs, but they were never properly recognized because they were not recorded yet. Because Chameleone was a good MC, he proceeded to Burundi where he was on high demand. He then decided to come back to his home country, Uganda, so he could follow up on his dream and start his career as a musician.
I know you want me. You look a million, not disarm me. With him again, y'all never desert me. From Asmara to Kampala, never forget me.
Upon arrival in Uganda, Chameleone started working with Shanks VVD. They recorded a song together called Forgive and Forget. Shanks VVD later left for Rwanda and Chameleone was left alone to decide his fate. He decided to seek bigger studios in Nairobi with the famous Ogopa DJs. While in Nairobi, he linked up with Baby Cool and Redson and came up with Mikono Juu, which became a #1 hit single on East Africa FM. He later wrote Bagaya and recorded it with Redson. This is the song that made Chameleone big in Nairobi. It became #1 and was played on all radio stations and in all discos and nightclubs. Jose Chameleone has had a number of concerts in Africa and around the world. In 2005, he performed at several shows in Denmark in support of fair global trade, where he then decided to appear at an extra concert in Etnoma, Copenhagen.
Chameleone, shiny like a bakuma muliro nenzikiza omuliro bayimba ebitaliyo nenyimba ebiriyo bwekubakuba munene nse munene asingayo.
Jose Chameleone, whose real names are Joseph Mayanja, is one of Uganda's all-time major artists. His music is enjoyed by people of all ages, people who don't understand the meaning of the words in his songs.
This is NTV.
Tuwaye webale nnyo okutwegatta ku nkwaniriza nnyo n'okusenga bwe gwali gubadde. Now omusajja agenda okutubuulira ebigambo ku scene oba mu kisaawe eky'ebyokwesanyusaamu entertainment mu kisaawe ekyakatemba n'ebiringa ebyo y'okutwalizaamu muyimbi ekyakola ekyo. Ennaku ezo tubadde tuwulira ebigambo ebyobufuzi, ennaku ezo ezayita ne basoma budget, naye olwaleero twagala tutunulire ebyokusanyuka entertainment. Omwami ono ennaku ezo alina oluyimba lwe yafulumya abannayuganda abasinga bawuliriza ekikye. Simanyi oba yali ayagala kutegeeza nti ffenna tuli bakoowu naye nze sinnaba kukoowa nkyakola. Nsanyusa okukulaba Mathias Walukaga.
Nsanyusa okukusanga nange.
Webale kujja.
Kale muganda wange.
Bigenda bitya?
Birungi.
Kulaba nkulengera eyo lonchi zikutawusa bikyeri.
Lonchi empuuba kati byempuuba. Ndi up and down siteredde.
Emirimu gigenda gitya?
Si mibi.
Tonnakoowa.
Nagambye mu kayimba eri nti nange mbikomezaawo nkooye.
Nedda tokoowa, tuleme kukoowa.
Emanyi okiraga obukoowu si kwe kwebaka. Nga ndolokwa gundi akooye kati yepa osigala okola kuba atono oli akine
nga monderi mu
mutima gwo gwakola ki
owaliriza
nga nawe bakugamba nti akola ojja kufuna no mutima gwako wategukyakikiriza.
Polisi yakuyitako ku bintu by'oluyimbo?
Sifunangako simu yonna ng'eŋŋamba ndi wetaagibwa ku poliisi okuleka okufuna essimu ezintiisatiisa.
Zitya?
Oyimbi oluyimba olabika oli anti-government, kati golooza gwosinga amaanyi kati ojja kutegeera gavumenti naawe, naye ekyo ekyakabi nti singa simu zaali zinyambe nga ziraga ennamba naali badde nazikwata
bakubira ennamba tezirabika,
bakwekera ennamba tezirabika nogamba kati ani nange lusi nenva ne mumbeera nti kati mbulira
ekyo ekikola kiba kya butiitizi oba olina message oyagala okutuusa newekwekerera omuntu
kali kiraga nti nno aba bagezaako kwonoona ekifaananyi kya poliisi lwaki bantiisatiisa ne bampite buyise
so teriwa poliisi yali akuyise wa CID oba waki
teriwa poliisi eno wa CID yadde ki n'ebirala byogerwamu busobola ennyimba zange bambalinze emyaka 3 nga siyimba sinafuna gundi yonna yonna kuva mu kooti nti
olugambo olwo luvaawo ani atambuza olugambo olwo
nga bwe weebuuza nange weebuuza naye ate gwe nze bwe nnimala okwebuuza zirako eka n'endowooza nti kiyinza kuba nga kiva luddawa kati bano abalabika nga tebaagala nfune bwe basaasaanya amawulire ago nti olukaga bamusibye bamubaaniza tajja kuyimba kitegeeza abeera asibiddeyo omuwagizi wange yalize mulungi kuba omuwagizi agamba ate bamuganya okuyimba kati anaayimba biki nze bwe ndowooza oba nga bwe bumpaa
mu Uganda Mathias manyi abannakatemba n'abayimbi ababadde controversial ekigambo ekyo kyannema mu Luganda naye nga buli awuliriza kye bakola avaawo alina kyalowooza nga either kimuwagira oba tekimuwagira olw'emirimu egyo giba gikoleddwa luno si oluyimba olusoose olw'okubeera controversial in courts
baali bakutoka mu kooti
nzijukira wagendako mu komera olw'ennyimba tulepuke nemutembeeyi oyagala kubeera muntu wantalo kiki
nedda akuba nti nze ekizibu kyange omwami wa Lusimbi nti nze najja okuyimba nga manyina lwaki nziza okuyimba kati nze ninga MP atasobola genda mu parliament n'asirika ng'ebirowoozo byafunye mu bamulonda ale n'asirika n'atabikola ki n'atabiwaayo era nze sigulirira tosobola kumpa sente tokola kino kwako sente kino kireke kati nze kyempulira obwongo bwange kye buleese nga nawe kyekigana n'okuyamba abawagizi bange kyenyimba nga sifunyemu kutya kwonna
abayimbi bakadongo kamu mulumbagana nnyo even from a personal note oli gondi yakola kino n'omulumba ng'oluyimba luli ku ye sente okiikirira ebirowoozo by'abantu naye ng'olumba muntu specifically olina
kati ng'oluyimba luno bakoowu
olosooka ololekeka
nduveeko
ddayo kwe wali
kati wali ku tulepuke nayimba tulepuke nga mulimu
n'ebiseera by'omugenzi Kafeero waliwo oluyimba olwo abawanyisiganyanga naye
Kafeero yayimbako ne diikuula ne beevuma nnyo okumala ki naye nga kyenjagala mumanyi nti yadde tuli bayimbi naye ate tuli bantu obuyimbi si ggwanga nti neggwanga ly'abayimbi terinyiiga oba teriyomba ng'abalabe bayomberayo mu Owino mu paaka naffe tufunamu obutakkaanya n'ovaako mu mbeera n'okola ki ng'era omuntu owa bulijjo tetuli banja tuli bantu kati abalala bayomberayo mu paaka n'embutale naye olw'okuba tebamanyiddwa ebyabwe tebabimanya n'obiraga temubiraga kati enjawulo gye tulina nti buli lw'omanyika buli kyokola ne bwe kaba katono bwe kati ng'okuyomba n'omuntu neefuuka ensonga mu nsi abantu abasiba bayomba
amakulu Mathias bwe camp example nkwagalidde mukyala we n'ogenda mu studio n'okuba oluyimba buli omu n'olala asanga bwe tulina issues ezaffe n'oba omusajja oyo yanjagayo omukyala
tekiba kituufu
obuziina
tekiba kituufu era nange sisobola kikola mbuuza lwaki mbuuza nti no tebawuliriza message nalina omuntu gwe nnyonnyola ti omuntu oyo gw'olina kuba yali alowooza nti nkyalina oyo omukyalo ne munnyonnyola nti omuntu oyo wagenda omufuna ffe twali twetadde mabega emyaka mingi nga ngezaako munnyonnyola nti beera ng'omutima gukuliwamu ffe ebyaffe byaggwa dda gmufuna nga ebyaffe byaggwa dda twesanga bwesanzi ng'abantu abataali na luyombo ne mubuuza oli otya naye nanziramu katoddamu kulo nali munnyonnyola bunnyonnyozi
nti olwemusanga muwahalo
olwemusanga muwahayi okitegedde nafuna dda n'omulala kati omutima gukubeere wamu naye abantu abamu ebintu ebimagenda n'okubitegeera nga biyise kyova olabanga ne Chameleone yaga nti basiima ogenda abamu bagenda n'okutegeera omuyimbi kyeyayimbako nga yafadda kati bagenda n'okutegeera eyo message nti ate nze nali siyomba nali munnyonnyola bunnyonnyozi ng'oluusi nafadda
olaba toggweredde bulungi kye wali oyagala n'oleeta olulala lwali kibwino bwino w'omutembeeyi
nga gwe nyinyonnyola takkiriza okitegedde munnyonnyodde ne nfukamira ne wansi ne mawulire ne mugamba si ye ggwe n'asigala nga yainsistinga nti nze gw'ogamba nga nze engeri gyensobola nange endala kakati kwegamba nti tulepuke okitegedde akutta akambe n'effumu tulepuke tulabe buli omu aba n'amagezi g'ayinza okukozesaamu ekyokulwanyisa
kuma ne bakoowa kati beesibira malogi lwa bukoowu bafuuka bamalaya lwa bukoowu abandi beeyombekedde lwa bukoowu ate gwe Sseruganda n'olangirira nti n'okooye
oluyimba luno na oli latest oza albamu era webagiyita bakoowu kuliko ennyimba endala meka
kuliko ennyimba by the way nezimu tezinnabakuza nga balya mmere kuliko olwaggwadde oluyitibwa bambega era tutambula ne bambega era ddonga kumpe olwalukuba kuliko n'endala sikyalulunkana kuliko omuko omubbi nimba kuzikyaliko noluzova power luzisinziza
bakoowu oyagala kutuusa bubaka kinawo njagala ove mu literature mu kifilosofiko ky'oluyimbo odde mu njogero yabujjo bubaka ki bw'oyagala okutuusa
bubaka bwenyagala okutuusa kulaga ggwanga nti abasimbi n'omugamba nti mpola sinya 13 n'agamba nti sirina ng'ate alinamu emitwalo 10 mu nsawo tomunyiigira walusimbi oyo abeera mukoowu yawolako ne batamusasula yawolako ate era atuuka ekiseera nga talina n'agamba ono nti nange mpola n'atamuwola kati oyo yakoowa okuwola ne bw'aba alina sente osanga omuntu ng'ofiirwa n'atakuziikirako tomunenya yafiirwa ne batamuziikirako yagendanga n'okusuza n'asula ne mu nsiri mu mpewo naye bwe yafiirwa tebaalinnyayo n'akoowa ebintu bingi nnyo nze buli muntu gwensanga bw'omugamba kino buli muntu akola ekintu ng'olabanga ekyali badde oba kisaabulula ekitiibwa kyoga nti gwokoze ekyo agawayendeka ndi mukoowu bw'omubuuza nti kiki ng'akuwa n'ensonga ze ng'era bwe nazogede mu luyimba nosanga omufumo nti mukyala gundi gwe waali badde mulogida nga bbaawo omugaga akuwa buli kimu otambulira mu mmotoka ya bbeeyi mbadde waka ebbanga ddene nga bba wange talabikako nange nkooyo okuuma ewaka kati ndi mukoowu nosanga bamalaaya muki abaana abalungi lwaki temufumbirwa nemudda mukweto gamba nti twaliko mbufumbo ebintu ne bitutabukako tuli bakoowu abasajja nga benda nga bwe baagadde nga ne b'omuwa kyayi tetulina kye twakola ne batusiima kati tuli bakoowu yembeera eri mu ggwanga
ebyobufuzi perspective oba angu kali ey'ebyobufuzi egirawa mu luyimba luno kubanga abantu abasinga we basonga olugalo
lwakubeera simanyi lwaki nti omanyi bw'oyimba oluyimba ye omuntu alina amakulu ge gafunamu ate nga buli muntu alina eddemberi okutegeera ekintu nga bwakitegedde ensonga lwaki twabeeranga mu kilaasi abamu ne tuyita abala ne bagwa bali abaagwa ebibuuzo baabiddamu nga bwe baali babitegedde naffe abaayita twabiddangamu nga bwe twabitegeera nga te muli mu kilaasi emu buli omu abitegeera bubwe kati nze sinawe abufuzi we mbiyingirizaamu okuggyako mpozi olw'okuba nti nayogerako kubalimbi obufuzi oba kitegedde naye ng'ate sibamenshonize manya neŋŋamba nti bamemba ba paliamenti obutakiika ojja n'obasanga
mu vidiyo waliwo betulaba woyimbira nti netulonda betwagala
nagambye n'abalonzi nabasanze nze omu kubakolera kasibante moses campaign erubaga nga sisasulwa naye nga mpulira njagala nnyo nnyo kuba kasiba nali ntudde naye okuva yonna gye kampala ku CBS ng'akuba nnyo ennyimba zange akola ki nga sirina ngeri yonna gye nnyinza musasula okuleka mukolera campaign nga yeesimbyewo nawaayo obudde bwange bungi nnyo naye nga kyenjagala kyekyayitemu nempunzika nga ayiseemu mulala nga balangiridde mulala atayiseemu kati abalonzi berubaga ne baŋŋamba
tutusize eddobozi eryo
nti kati ffe ekiyitibwa okulonda naye bali banga batukubye emiggo tetukyaddamu kulonda ne mbagamba lwaki ate oba tulonze gwe twagala be balangirira mulabe
ogenda kutandikirawo tukyagenda maaso netuwaye ndi ne Mathias Walukaga muyimbi katugende maaso Matia oyagala kuyingira byabufuze mu foramu
nze omulimu gwange gwenkola gunsasula bulungi okusinga ng'ate sifunye na stress yonna sobola stress za byabufuzi ate nga n'ekirungi mu bwongo bwange simanyiimu byabufuzi temulimu byabufuzi n'akamu nabo mbuuza ku byobufuzi obeera ondese
batugaba buli muntu azaalibwa alimu ebyobufuzi mu ye
ebyobufuzi mpozi
era obeerawo n'owulira n'ogamba naye oyo naye
okujjako nga tebaawula bukulembeze na bufuzi nze ndimu obukulembeze naye sisobola kufuga obyawula mwami wa Lusimbi omukulembeze oyo yakulembera banne n'abagamba twalikoze kino n'abawabula mu mbeera bw'ati ate ye omufuzi awabwi oda obufuzi ebeera oda kati nze sisobola ku odalinga bantu na n'obusungu bungi nempa oda mukwekyo ne bagaana mbanja kubakuba kati saagalayo
oluyimba lwo Bakowo for example senga opposition balufuula mu luzungu kye bayita theme song oluyimba lwe bakozesanga ng'obabola national anthem olulimu obubaka bwe bakkirizamu ne balufuula ekyo muli kiba kitegeeza ki olowooza muggwe kiba kitegeeza ki
nze ogwange ogw'okuyimba mba nagukola ne guggwa kati bo be bamanyi kye balufuula n'abatali ba opposition be bamanyi kye balufuula kuba sisobola balagira nti mulufuule kyo nkubye ennyimba nnyingi nnyo naye siina buyinza bulagira abantu nti luno mulwagala ennyo oba luno mulukyawe ennyo kuba naze enkubye ennyingi ne batazaagala neze enkubye ennyingi ne bazaagala si nze mbalagira nze kyenkola kimu kyakukola gwange kuwandiika n'enjiya kyempulira nti kirungi n'enkiririizinga then ebiddirira okulwagala oba butalwagala si byange bya Katonda.
Watandika okuyimba wali mu group waliko mu group ya Livingstone Kasozi?
Yeah, era mwe natandikira 1996. Ngira bawunzika timu ebagigobye buli kaseera kanange mwendi mbaddewo ebbanga lyonna nga kubanga ekiraga nti nze mbadde mulungi nti buli mwaka awards mbadde eziwanguleza akadomo kamu era nga n'embivulu ebinene byonna mbeeramu era nga njogerwako era nga ntambula nnyo n'emmawanga g'ebyo ekiraga nti nno toli mulungi wano wokka n'ennyonyi nsiiba nzirinya se
obubaka bwe muyimba Mathias mukyali ku mulamwa ogw'akadongo kamu gwe tumanyi.
Okujjako kati nga gwo ngambye nti
ng'oggyeko abamu mpulirayo abayimba kadongo kamu twali tetumanyi nnyo bintu bya laavu.
Kale ekyo kiwaali badde ogamba nedda ssebo ne laavu mu kadongo kamu gyeri basse badduka baayimba baddaani mugula bayimba ntongo
osangako nga lumu
kakati wakadongo kamu kyayimba laavu ennyo kubanga nze nyinza okuba nyina ennyimba za laavu nina alubamu za 2 mwegi
okuva mu
96 era nze muyimbi w'akadongo kamu akyasinza alubamu ze nnyingi naye nga nina be nasanga nga bayimbidde emyaka nga 2 naye nkubya ziweza kati nze nina speed generator album bwega bendala ino sirinda kuggwerayo kubulirayo nerwanako kati ezitunze mweziri nezitatunze era
lwaki
nyimba nga 126 zennina
oinako meka
nyimba 126 nake zalavu nga nnya zokka
tokiraba kyembadde nga nti kadongo kamu omulamwa teyabanga
kati kyobadde olina okumbuuza
ekivuddeko
abayimbi abamu
nemuvaako okutuwemula abamu ku mmwe
kati ate ekireese
olwokuba munoonya okutunda
kati okuwemula abantu bajja mu music ono abamu nga si baamu naawe osoma amawulire munamawulire naye eriyo abajja mu mawulire nga basaana kubeera abasajja baali basaana kubeera eri nga babakuuma ku geeti naye nomulaba nga zembwa nyonyola abantu mu mawulire ng'ebintu bifu byakola okitegedde kane mu kuyimba kwaffe kyenayimba nti engeri gye mutalimu ejo yimbi oluyimba nti omuzadde tagulwa onyonyodde ntugubadde lwa fiizi kati bw'ovaako ne bagamba nti addako ye gundi najja asika empale zipo n'agisumulula noga nti ono yalinzizeeko ddala mbutuufu okuba tewaliwo gye tuyitanga nti batusunsula buli omu ajja buzinga bwasanze mwebyammwe mwesiimu bamala kugezesa wasoma otya oyogera otya
bakugezesa naye n'abantu bennyini nabo bakusa ku interview yaabwe
n'abantu bennyini
basobola okusalawo okugaana byokola
kakati newaffe gyebiri mu mirimu yonna gyebiri naye nga nze ng'omu walukagga ku mulamwa kwendi n'abayimbi abalala bangi basebbaale
bino bye boogera bino nti mwewalana nnyo bivaawa bituufu byo
ebyo ebyogerwa ku bantu abamanyise kati atamanyise banaamanya batya gwawalana omuntu gwe batamanyi
banga abayimbi bakadongo kamaawo mulimu n'abagendera bannaabwe ku ndagu
kakati ffe bukyango
naawe ndaba muba mu luno oluyimba oba luli waliwo bandogo boyo ate abudumulasi n'oluyimba olupya mwendaba mwayimba kuva muloga
anti omuntu ayinza okukifuna mu bwongo bwe tebintu bino engeri gye binkyankalanyeeko olabika waliwo ndoga naye saba teyakiyimbako dda n'agamba nti teriba ddogo guba mutindo gwe kubya kati tegeka ebintu byange nga birungi nenjiya bulungi siwemula abantu nebipresentinga bulungi abantu ne banjagala kati oli owensi bambi najjadibya mutere najja agamba nti nze bandoze naye mu kadongo kamuti wabaddeyo nnyo ntalo weewaawo ziyinza okubaamu entonotono ez'omula naye zaffe ate teziri mu lwatu nga bwe tulaba abaana ogamba nti gundi asanze gundi beetomedde ono basisingayo gundi beekubye eŋŋumi ewaffe tebiriyo
tetunatuukakulabawooza
bulowooza embeera
tetunagituukako nga bali ku stage bavuganya ne mulasi
tetunatuuka waawo kakati ffe tetunatuuka tetunnaba kati nze nyimbira masuuti timbanji nsibye ettaayi nfunyiza enjala bagamba ono byayambadde yabitegedde
naye Mathias omuntu bwakusanga alina omwana we wa myaka 15 abaana abo abato nagampayo ensonga bbiri lwaki omwana muleeta mu kivulu kyo ekyakadongo kamu oyinza mugamba kyo
abamuleese kuyiga
kukyaliyo
mu bayimbi abamu nga bwegambye osanga ewase battanga gye bali abaana kati nze show yange abantu abasingamu obungi kale tugeze nga 70% kwabo babeera bazze mu show wekanga basajja bakulu bamasuuti bakyala bagomesi bulungi nnyo basibe bulungi butambaala ku mitwe balina bafumbo bazze n'abaana baabwe balina message gye bansuubiramu era kaninga gyo nayimba oluyimba tomala gasoma kati nza nga ngenda ntambuza ekivulu mbuulirira abaana bali kuba ku stage mbabuulira omwana waalisomye kino okusinziira mu ggwanga nga bwe riri eyo nno gye baava nga bagamba mulwanyisa eggwanga yokanda gamba Uganda ennyonyi mulimu 2 oba ziri mu 5 nga mu Uganda ennyonyi naye nga sigamba gavumenti ngamba gwe omuntu kennyini sooka weebuuze nti mu ggwanga tulina ennyonyi mmeka bwe ziba 2 kati nze lwaki nsoma obwa pairoti bo bali abazivuga bafudde munazivuga nga buli omweddakiika nnyanya kagamba ogenda okusoma tekatondasalawo kukyosomerera ki sooka olowooze nnyo nti mu Uganda bwe nkisoma mu ekiri kuba ojja kusoma embeera z'abantu wano ng'obeera awo tuli olusimbi ayambadde suuti ya black nti olusimbi osinza ku suuti ya black alabika agenda ku mbaga omutegeere kyagendako naye nga ani anaakusasula abaana ne mbawa amagezi basome ebintu ebyangu n'abatasomye bagaggawadde abaana bakanise wabakanika genda mu bbajiro kola woteeri ng'eyo bw'osoma obusawo oleme kulinda muze bampe mu ddwaliro eddene tandikawo ka kiliniki ko mpolampola ogenda kulakula osomye obusomesa oli mukukuluma muzisoma bansasula emitwalo 12 tandikawo mpolampola akasomero akakulu ojja kwekanga
emitwalo ko omuntu ajja kubuuza kati nsevinze ntya emitwalo 12
okitegedde
sijja oveeyo ate n'oyimba bakoowu nojja weekuba endobo noga banaasevinga ki omuntu afuna emitwalo 12 lindako tugenda kukomawo tukyagenda maaso ne tuwaye ndine Mathias Walukaga. Katugende maaso owaye kiki ekirala kye muyinza okukola okwagazisa ennyimba ez'akadongo kamu abaana bano abali mu kukula mu kiseera kino generation yeno eriwo abaana wakati w'emyaka 12 mu 3 24 kiki kye mukyayinza okukola ekirala
okuleka okuyimba
mu kuyimba kwennyini kubanga abamu
okusikirizibwa okuwulira nti
abamu batukonfuse nze mu ngeri y'okugezaako okusikiriza abantu abalala okuwulira bye bakola ate bakuba nnyimba za bandi n'olina oluyimba nga lwa bandi simanyi nnyo nze byakuyimba naye ng'ate oli aga akadongo kamu birimu enjawulo nze ndowooza naye kiki muyinza okukola ekirala ng'abayimbi
kati kadongo kamu si style gy'obeera okuba naye message ekintu kyoyimba message obubaka fiimu yennyini mulamu akigwoyimbako na how ngeri ki gyokyalenjinzeemu okusobola okukyagazisa abantu abo kati abaana abato kati nze neeyogerako nga nze nti mu show yange era wabeerawo tiketi ez'abaana abato n'abantu abakulu ku mulyango wekanga tugeza abantu for instance baba bazenga 7 abakulu olaba tiketi ez'abato ziringa 2 ng'ate oluusi abamu abo tebaze na bazadde baabwe bali myaka 15 16 17 18 bwe gityo wakati nze ennyimba zange zakutte nnyo ne mu masomero n'amasomo gensinga okufuna gava mu universities otuyambye nnyo wayimba tumala gasoma tubuuliridde nnyo nasooka kuyimba school fees ntugobadde lwa fees n'ennyimba ekimansa nnaku ngenda nnyimba ebintu bingi nnyo byendaga nga ndaga okusinga njagala nnyo nze abantu bano abanajja bano abakula bano basanga ebintu ebyo nga bibayamba wabisangidde wennyini nga tasanze nti bikaddiye nze nga lwaki nnyimba emiramu egyo kanize ngattako kubanga omwana okutunuulira manyi kadongo kamu baali balowooza nti ayimbibwa bano abatamiivu abasajja bakadde ate abatamiivu no si bweki kati mbudde buno okusobola ogera nga tukyagazisa abaana tugattako smartness noyambala bulungi ku stage nopresentinga bulungi ate noyimba nabo wakiri ebibakwatako wakati gwe bwoyimba nogamba leka kati entalo z'ebbamaalo tugamba tebibakwatako kubanga nze leero tugubadde lwa fees ne mbagamba nti naye baana mmwe ffe twasoma mirembe giriko embooko naye mukoze bwe muti naye gye munabakoma okukola bwe muti mujja kuwuzika muli bwe muti ne bwe muti kati kyekireeta nze abaana mu show zange ate n'abantu abakulu baleeta abaana baabwe tijangu weewulirire kye bakugamba banze bulijjo bwe nkikugamba wano olowooza nkola ki nkuwalana kali jangu owulire nga bakigambira ddala wali engeri gye nkuŋŋaanyaamu abato n'abaki n'abakadde
kozi wava Kinyerere
Masaka mu Buddu
wakulirayo oti eyo mwali muyimba
nze gwolaba nayimba okuva mu P2 mpaka mu P7 mu kasomero bali bakayita St Margaret Primary School
kavaayo kakyali
kagwa
tebakasenda
kagwa kokka nga nze kwaya leader mu somero bwe natandika okusoma secondary natandika okuyimba mu church choir parish choir ne mu parish choir Butende ne viira yonna nga nyimba ngate nsamba nnyo n'omupiira nzo omupiira gwampeerera okuva senior
ne t-shirt ye oli mu ya Cranes
era nebika nsamba sebo mu kasimba bakabazi kyalo kakati eyo gye nava nendyoka nzija nga bombuuziza
okuyimba basically wali osuubira nti oli kujjamu ekyamakulu kwali kuyimba
obwongo bwange bwali ngera mmanyi nti omupiira ye talent gye ngenda okudeveloping okulaba nti gye nja okufunangamu ngenda okufuula ng'omulimu gwange naye lumu nalina mukwano gwange nali nsoma naye nga bamuyita Karule Fred yandekayo Masaka eyo nga nsoma Kayunga mu St. Anthony Senior Secondary School naye ebimulemi nga tabikwata bulungi ngenda okuddamu okulaba Karule nga bazze ewaffe nga Karule alina abayimbi ne ku stage ayimba ngamba Karule yali tategeera naye kati ate ayimba byokusoma tegeeza omuntu asobola okuyita awalala n'akola ki n'abaako kyafuuka eno wagaana n'agezaako ewalala naye ngamba Karule nga bwe gambe nti nali nnyimba nnyo mu kyakikwaya sapalish kwaya akati ne ngamba Karule nange nina obuyimba bwange nali mpandiise obuyimba bwange awo mpolampola nga nsoma bwe mbwandika nsamba n'omupiira Karule n'angamba nti sobola okusabira wano ku kyalo wenyini waffe banzaala mpandiise akayimba kange kayitibwa abakyala abajjamu embuto kaali kakyana kito kuba nali mu senior 3 abaana batoototaawo bajja abayimbi batono gurupu yali eyitibwa Makula Gita Singers nga Kafeera amaze ogivaamu akoze kulabako Gita Singers nga gurupu eyo ebalirwa mu zino ng'ezigudde era nga n'abayimbi mulimu batono nnyo nga wogira wonna waliwo gap okuyingira era bangamba bugambi nti osobola nti nenninya stage ne bankubira olwokuba nayimba akayimba ako ne banfuuwa sente nyingi nnyo ne baŋŋamba n'okuŋŋamba nti kakatira byolimulaba oli bya mupiira olabye bulijjo balina okuyimba lwaki tebakutwalira dda abantu bajubisaawo neŋŋamba Karule nsabira ngende nentambulako ndi mu senior 3 ndi mu holiday nentambulako nabaawo nebijja bituyisa bubi nnyo tojje Kampala eno mpaka Kanyanya babeeranga awo
Kampala wali wabeerayo ko wava Masaka
najjangayo okusamba empiira gy'amasomero nokujja nakuddayo tewali
kusobola kulole waggulu
Lairandi Scania ezabeeranga nga nsaanikire zitemula bajje mugenda nga mutambulira omwo kati Karule n'ansabira naye bwe twajja byampisa bubi nempalirizibwa okuddayo nenzeyo nensoma naye nga bw'omanyi ekintu ng'olozezzaako kati 9 yali 9 kubanga bali bajja 9 9 nempulira oluyimba lwa Paulo Kafeero Walumbe Zaaya
ejjukiraawo lwakwata nnyo
nentuula bwe nempuliriza nabwe mpulira eddoboozi nempulira instruments nempulira engeri gyeyakolamu arrangement y'ebidongo y'ebigambo gyeyabisengeka nengamba ono yasinga okuyimba era lumu gwe naleetaazo singa mbadde lwakuyimba gwe naleetaazo okufaanana nenfuna okusikirizibwa nengula ebitabo ne bayiro nenaliko okuyiyanga enyimba olwo nengenda ekitovu St. Henry's ntandika okusoma senior 5 waliwo omusajja baali bamuyita Suna Sekaka nga abeera mu Nnyendo yayimba bannabuddu twebazenga Katonda kakati nayiye obuyimba bwange nga nvaayo eri ku ssomero mpola lumu nenzija wano mu Nnyendo nemuyimbiramu ng'alina dry guitar nga nkubiramu anjigiriza oyingira bwoti nokola bwoti anangamba obuyimba bwo bulungi nina mukoddomi wange Kampala bamuyita Tubulo kankutwale yatufulumya Tubulo music sound
waliwo buteepu babuwandika
Tubulo kati nanga kankutwale nandeeta nendikodinga kati najja mu studio nasangamu oyo kati Dr. Teo Kazibwe ali mu studio bebakuba
nga wadda producer nze ebbanga ddene
neddala naye yali muto yabita omanyi eri ababitandika nga bato abantu nendikodinga obuyimba bwange
studio wali ku Tubulo
wansi eno ku Jinja Road waliwo studio wagiyita ya Dipe Diprokosega wakatumba
mulabe ennaku zino mwali mu Kampala
yayina studio mutwali recordinganga ngano tebiriko nakumala kumanya nti no yimbira mu kiki nga ze sibimanyi bwe najja obakwata gita baddo mukuloboza ogunene nange nayimbira nabiseeko omuganda wame nenkalakata bukalakasi nenkola ki nakati enatuuka eyo ne lubala emyezi ng'esatu nokuyamba ndi ku ssomero nga bangamba waliwo omuyimbi gwe bayita Walukagga Mathias yayimbye oluyimba lwafulumye tuludde mu Nyendo wali kati nenziriko gendayo okebera ekifaananyi nga kyekyange kyennyini
n'otya nnyo
kakati nengende wasuuna sekaka nangamba tepu ye tunda mpola awo naye
wali omanyi nti zijja kufuluma
nali kimanyi zirina okufuluma kati suuna ne mugamba nakola nti abanampayo ku kasente nti yakutwala wiiki ejja wamukodomi wange akusasule nenzija tubulo nansasulayo emitwalo gyali 4 emitwalo 4 mu budde obwo 95
zaali sente nyingi
95 emitwalo 4 zaali sente nyingi kyenakola nengenda nempaako maama sente nakola kakaduuka ka mitwalo nga 12 nengulako eggaali empya nengulako engoye
senior 5
banaye nengamba nkoze ntya nenjiya mba ndi awo nga bali benyini abajja bakalula bamakula abandeeta luli nga bakomyewo bagenda okudda nti owai wafulumiza ennyimba Kampala abantu bazaga lwaki tojja no nengamba kangende nabo nenkomawo nabo nentandika ddala okuyimba ddala okuva 95 naye nayimbayo emyezi nga3 mu makula nengenda ate wakiwanuka yayimba fina kulikayo okusoma oba olijjukira nga yayina amaanyi bantu tebayina byuma we basula tusula wansi
ate nga mwina kuyimba live
tulina kuyimba live kati kiwanuka naye bayimbi abo tebaali bangi ebiseera ebyo nga muyimbi n'oba okubira akayimba n'ogenda mu kibiina bakuwa buwi nengende wakiwanuka fina ate nali nfuna advantage nti mukungu waliwo omuyimbi omuyita Geoffrey Mukungu ayimba omusamba gwe Mombasa kati yali avuddemu nga waliwo era awo gap era bampa buwi ntandika okuyimba nabo kati bwe ntandika okuyimba nabo nenjiya oluyimba luyitibwa Akanywa Mpola alogera ku sirimu kati Kasozi ansangewo ekike bwayise
Kasozi siwa 95 siwayimbira siwakutandikira campaign ye eya HIV
96 kati njiyiza oluyimba lwa Akanywa Mpola Kasozi ansanga mu studio mazo du recording olwo maze no bitegeera nti nno endongo bakwata wano n'ofuna eddoboozi eddungi nenyimba bulungi nnyo Akanywa Mpola ako naluwuliza lwa makulu nnyo nangamba oyimbirawa nangamba nyimba nekiwanuka fina nangamba njagala oveeyo nzije tuyo
basuddawo
ate nabasiibula bali kati nga Kasozi munene nnyo kubali nga ndabanga n'ekirooto Kasozi okungamba nti jangu tuyimbe ffenna nzaani saabasiibula neziye wa Kasozi nanjagala nnyo Nemya naye emyezi nga5 bulwadde ne bunyweza nnyo ne bumunyiikirira awo era kyasobola kuva wansi awo era ennyimba ezo zinnalweyise ezo
ntandika okuwulira Mathias woyimbira Walukagga ndabye
Kasozi yali alubamu eyokubiri eyadda ku Kanywa Mpola nga mmaze Kasozi amaze okufa era ennyimba za nnalweyise ezo nze nazitandika okuziwandiika ziyayimba nga yerangirira ezo
so Kasozi briefly Kasozi bwafa novaayo n'otandika ebibyo
Kasozi bwafa ekyera bali bakita Kampala Music Stars nasigala nkiyimbiramu omwaka mulamba netugenda maaso naguyisa namu kati beyandekera abaali sigala nga tetujja kukwatagana bulungi ate nga ontandise n'okuba oyimba bagenda bakutegeera olwo Mamuli Katumba naye azaatwegase Kampala Amagezi ti abala abantu bano abajja mu sho bonna bajja lwakuba gwe okoze erinnya tukole ekibiina bano tubaviira
ebibiina bimeka kati byolimu
tubaviira era kyekyange kyendimu kati
ovudde eri biringa wakawukyusa emirundi
mu makula nenzija mu mukise wa Kiwanuka Fiina nenzija mu Kampala Music Stars olwo nkola ekyange ne Mamuli Katumba bitutabukira Kamambuli tupangisiza ebyuma batututa ku mapolisi batusibye ku mapolisi eyo ate nga abantu tubalabako
bakyamukirira luli
mu bintu by'omufu ndoza yalira sympathy bali batusaasira busaasizi olwakasozi okufa abaana balese katubawagire tudde akola ki kati baba ffe twalowooza nti tufunye maanyi kumbe bali mu kutusaasira bwe twakola ebyaffe ne bamanya nti bantu bakyali beeri bamulekwa tebajja kakati Mamuli Katumba n'akivaamu eyampa amagezi tukikole n'akindekamu anziruseeko andeka ntulikire bwomu mu bomu ntulikire bwomu mu kisenge n'agenda n'akola ekiba kiyita mirinda nekigwa nenwalagana ekyo nenwalagana kyo mpaka mwaka gwa 2026 kati awo 2 mu 2022 nenfulumya oluyimba luyitwa ekiri emulago balwagala nnyo 2022 nenfulumya omuzadde tagulwa none balwagala nnyo
tugubadde Rafizi olwatati
tugubadde Rafizi emufulumya 2-3 olwo erinnya ligenda likola ki
so okuva olwo okutuusa leero olina ennyimba 126 album 21 okay
Uganda obutawera omusawa kuyita kawongotawa omusawa kuyita kawongotawa ng'ebirowoozo birikaba mu bangi enju yasaba bongera omusaala beerema katajja lwakutuusa mukolo omufa n'ofa yajjanja n'atasimwa yendima n'abikowa asuddeyo gwannagamba lwa bukoowu
emboozi yo
mpanvu nyo tuyinza n'okumala omwezi
obudde buyinza okukyanga tunyumya mubakoowu Sseruganda kyono gwoyimba nti akooyi Sseruganda gwamwesongayo naye
sinagambye gwamulabye
ati samulayi naye oba yaani
taliiwo kati omuntu yenna naawe kenyini osobola ogamba ne mukamawo nti ne Sseruganda olangira ddi nti okooyi okutukyunga ng'abaana abato buli gwolaba nti kyakola
nkwagaliza ebivulo ebirungi
kale mukama wange
ofune ne ssente kuba zonoonya
era zenoonya
mukama kulembere
nange njagala NTV ebeewo
amin
ebbanga lyonna
kale sebo abadde Mathias Walukaga muyimbi ayimbidde emyaka giwerera ddala gisoba mu 15 okutuusa omulundi omulala nze Franco Alisimbi badde tuwaye mubeere bulungi
This is NTV.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Always you're watching Men Tonight, and tonight we are talking about responsibilities in the home. We have a lot of myths and realities, as Ransom keeps pointing out that I mentioned, about who's supposed to do what in the home. Sometimes it can even be a cause for divorce, or rather, reason for divorce. So tonight with us at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel as our special guest, we have Dr. Maggie Chigozie. Dr. Harry, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's good because you're no stranger to TV, and now you're surrounded by the three musketeers.
I am.
So you're in safe hands.
Thank you.
All right. So Dr. Harry, it's our tradition to have the guest to be the first one to give her views. You come from a home where you've raised both boys and a girl. So you know that when it comes to responsibilities, these are things that you're either brought up knowing or you don't have them at all. Do you think there are certain roles in the home that are restricted to the male species and others restricted to the female species?
I don't think there are any roles that are restricted to either one, but there are those that some do better than others. Yeah. There are those that are done better by girls, and there are those that are done better by boys, and therefore it needs a conscious effort to not categorize your children into doing just that and giving them an opportunity to do everything else. So you have to be conscious that yes, the girl looks after the baby better, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
But the boy needs to know how to handle babies, so he should be given an opportunity.
What about in a case of something like cooking?
Yes.
Because I'll give a typical example in my home. I was literally the best cook in our home.
Wow.
Serious, even better than my sisters. You know. So would that mean? But of course, you know, when in the home that I grew up in, I grew up seeing my dad wash dishes. On Sundays, he'd do that. I am in a situation where, like, every Sunday I cook. I love cooking. It's one of the things I do. However, there's certain homes that you go to, and if your guy starts cooking, the reaction will be, what is wrong with him? I mean, he's got sisters, he's got a wife. Why are they doing it? I mean, he shouldn't be there. He should be putting his feet up, and he should be relaxing.
Reading the newspaper.
Exactly, which is the life.
Yeah. Yes, traditionally that was the man's role. Come, bring in the money first of all, and then come back home and put his feet up and relax. And the housewife who spent the whole day supposedly doing nothing, because that's what they say. And I can tell you, as one who has had to do both,
yes,
much better to go to the office
than stay at home.
Oh God, the work at home never ends. You wash the dishes for breakfast, someone has a cup of tea at 10 o'clock, you wash the dishes again, someone has lunch, you wash the dishes again. And
you're cleaning house, you're making sure the house is dusted.
So there's actually much more work in the house. But that was the traditional thinking, that the gentleman should come home and relax. But that has had to change. It has just simply got to change. But also it didn't cater for people like you who would like to cook. And maybe at that time you would not have been allowed
but
to
cook. But I don't like washing the dishes, so I just want to cook. That's it.
I don't like to cook. I don't like to wash the dishes either.
Yeah. Ransom, in your home, have you separated duties? Because it's just like, you know, when boys are being brought up, if they are not put into certain roles at an early age, they grew up knowing. And the same thing for girls. So have you got separate roles for your children?
Look, there can't be anything like that, and I don't believe in that. I believe that everyone should be able to do everything. The boys need to be able to cook, to wash. There's going to be a time when somebody's a bachelor or whatever. You need to be able to cook. You know, you don't want boys who will burn water. You know what I mean? Fail to boil water.
Yeah.
So, you know, from my experience, and I think. I don't think it was on purpose, but it just sort of happened that way, that we were, the boys in my family, we have four boys and 2 girls. We just tended to be just out playing, riding bikes or motorbikes or doing whatever. We managed to get away with it. So that's something that we've looked back on and tried to make sure that everyone can do everything. So the kids rotate chores in the house. It's not about just making sure that the maid does everything. No, she's there to help. Your own bed, you need to be able to wash your own essentials. My kids like to call their underwear essentials. So you do your own essentials, you do certain things, you make your bed, you need to be able to make breakfast. So weekends, usually the kids take turns, who does lunch, who does breakfast, who does the dishes, who does the clearing up, and it's rotating. And you know, there's 4 of them, so it's everybody gets a turn to do something.
From my experience, for us in our home where I grew, it was not even about the sex. Yeah, like Ransom said, everyone should be able to do everything. It was not about the sex, that girls do this, guys do this. It was about the age. Now, I was the first child. What happened was, I have 2 working parents. You have a maid, you have a big family, they work for a month, then they disappear, then it takes another week to get another maid or 2, and who is taking care of the home. So you learn to do everything, and I don't know if I was unlucky. Food tasted very nice, so look, I mean, if they're requesting me to, if they're asking me to cook again, chances are that they have also enjoyed. So I learned to do all these things, and in my life, I prefer someone who knows how to do these things. I don't want my wife to be a maid first and foremost, but I prefer them to know.
But then, if I may ask, and I'll come to you, Colin, because you objected to making your daughter slash. I would never make my daughter slash grass, never. That one, I mean, come on. You know?
My mother reared cattle. Yeah, she did all those things. Why shouldn't her granddaughter know how? No, listen. Why shouldn't she know how to do it?
Times have changed, and I'll ask you, Dr. Don't you think there's a difference, a distinct difference between men and women?
Definitely, there's a huge difference between men and women, and you are absolutely right. There are things that men do better, like slashing the grass, and then there are those that require a lot of intelligence, a lot of intuition.
Okay.
Those are better done by the women.
No. It's not NTV men. It's not NTV men.
So, but I am a gender activist, and I truly would like to encourage anybody out there who has girls, give them the opportunity. Give them the opportunity to slash the grass. It is an opportunity. Give them the opportunity to ride a bike, to climb a tree, because it makes us more competitive. I'll go out into the global world, and I need to compete against the best among the men. So if the difference is my ability to ride a bike and get there faster, you're already ruling me out. I am not riding bikes.
No. But Dr. don't you think this is one of the reasons why we now have serious challenges in society? Because men and women are at par. Or at least that's the way we're being made to think. Yes.
Yeah.
No. But you've just said we are different.
They're not yet.
You know. And isn't that what is causing a lot of problems in relationships? Because women are beginning to act like men. They are taking charge of the home, which traditionally should be a man's job. And they are, I believe in equal opportunities, but I believe there are certain responsibilities that are for the men. And vice versa also works the same, because now men are saying, all right, the women are taking charge. I don't even need to work. I can sit at home because my spouse is working. Don't you think all these things stem from that approach?
I think maybe they do, but they should stem from the fact that we are a pair, a husband and a wife. Let's look at ourselves. What do I do better? What do you do better? And we play those roles, you know. So you're an excellent cook. Cook.
I am
cook every day, as you wouldn't like. Yes. So I really think it's a partnership, and we need understanding. We are a par, not yet, but we're getting there. We should be at par. And then let's the better person who can do. I remember my husband. I got to school, beginning of term, we had forgotten to. I had my checkbook, I signed. I came home, I told him, I gave him, he was mad.
And
he was. Those are my children. That's what he said. Those are my children. It's my job to pay the fees. It's not yours. And he was really very upset. So that was it was a positive way of saying, no, that's what I do. All right. He didn't
abdicate and say it's all right.
It's all right. You go, and next term I was more careful. I did not pay the school fees, but I have had in the rest of my life have had to pay the school fees. So it shouldn't really
matter.
It shouldn't really matter so much. But because of it, as a traditional Muganda man, that's what he does, and that's what makes him a man.
I disagree with you in principle, because I think
you're choosing your words carefully.
I am very careful. after previous experiences
of getting slapped.
I was slapped once. Whenever you have people at the same level, you have anarchy. There needs to be a leader. There needs to be, and I think that in the division of roles, you then say, as the man, you will lead the home. You will provide that protection. You will provide the provisions that people need, and then the woman is then there to support that role and make sure that the decisions that are made together are then.
For me, there is a slight difference there. It was all going well until you came to
ruin it.
I do believe when you divide roles, everyone is a leader in that role. For example, I totally believe that the woman should take care of the home. Should take care of the home because she's best suited for it. She's more patient. Yeah, she's more patient. Bringing up children, I've tried to teach my kid brothers. I just can't coach them because you tell them something and then you ask them and then you get mad. A woman does that much better. That's why you find a lot of kindergarten teachers are women. They are more. I think the woman is more suited to take care of. So she's a leader in that role. Now, whatever you do, you're also a leader in that role, and they should be divided. I think certain people do certain things better. There are fewer leaders. There are fewer women in politics and in running companies and everything. It is not necessarily the women's problem. The women are better at supporting. The men can't be number two.
You know what? If I can, just really pick up on the issue of you do what you do best. I grew up in the city, concrete all around. I love to have a nice lawn and whatnot, but I don't want to do it myself. I don't know how to. My wife has got green fingers. She's planted practically every blade of lawn in our garden, and it's not a small garden. You know what I mean? And the roses and all the flowers and whatnot. That is something that she's passionate about and is good at. Yeah. If it was left up to me, I remember she gave me a plant and I killed it, watered the thing, and it died. So the point that I'm making is, you just do what you're good at. Now, at some point, someone gave her a chance to be in a garden and to dig things up and see that this works and that works. And she'll even tell you, this herb is good for this. If you've got flu, take that, lemongrass, whatnot. She knows this stuff because somebody took her out and gave her an opportunity. If somebody said, you're a woman, just be in the kitchen, she wouldn't know that stuff, and our garden would be a... See what I'm saying?
I agree with what... I don't agree. I agree more with what Colin is saying. But we're going to have to get back to you straight after the break. We're here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel discussing about responsibilities in the home. Welcome back from the break. We are still talking about responsibilities in the home. We're not yet there, but we're getting there. Before we went into the break, for those of you who've just joined us, Ransom was telling us about ladies being at par. Colin.
Yes.
You do not believe that ladies and men can be at par.
I do not think that they can be at par.
Especially in a relationship.
Especially in our family. As Ransom says, and you've heard him say, you have to celebrate the differences between you. And part of that celebration of those differences is knowing, not only just knowing and allowing people to do their best, but also allowing people to take their rightful place in the structure, in the hierarchy. You said earlier about, men putting their feet up because they've brought in the money, or because the woman is making money, the man can go and relax. I think that's wrong. I think that I would never be in a position, and I think I would never be able to stand a man who then said, I'm going to let my woman work because she's bringing the money. The same way I wouldn't be comfortable with, for example, women who then say, that guy, I buy his clothes, I do what. There's things that a man should take care of, not because he's not equal to his wife, but because he's a man.
Now,
but does there time come at and actually does what are called male things better than you, where she actually brings in more money than you? Is that a possibility?
It's dangerous.
All right, but it is possible.
It's dangerously possible.
Not just possible, it is happening.
It is happening.
It's affecting the male ego.
I would like to make... Sorry, Joseph, because we're going to run away from it just now. Listen, we have to be able to understand the fact that, yes, we have different roles, but we can be on par.
I don't know how is that possible. I think it's different.
Yes. I don't know if you are saying the same thing. I think what has happened in society is some roles are more prestigious than others. Some people think because you bring more money, that is a better role than
it makes you
than
nurturing and caring
than washing the child or bathing the child. And in there lies a problem.
Yeah.
This is value. This is something you do better than I do. Yeah, it is equally as important as bringing in the money. So if we think this one is more prestigious, and you think because you're the one who brings the money, you should put your feet up,
special or something.
yeah, it gives
Well,
a very, very bad
if you
impression.
throw money out of the window,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
What is more important than the money? What does a woman want from her husband? Okay, she wants love. Providing that, you may bring all the money in the world. Are you providing? Are you the man?
Yeah.
You know,
But
in
we are
so many ways.
Yes.
Not necessarily, not necessarily washing the dishes. You can put your feet up and still be the man. Because she comes in and you say, Mrs., you look lovely. So, you know, so there are other ways to really show you're a man. You are the man in the home. So it is not all about money. The fact that she's brought in more money, right? You can still put your feet up. But you need to do something. To show you care about the children. That is very, very important. Are you playing your role as a dad? Women appreciate that. They see you playing with your little 6-year-old daughter, talking to her like he's been telling us. And for me, you are a man. You are the dad in the house, all right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter how much money I brought, who calls me Dr. What, but there you are. You are my man, you're in my house, and you are playing the role of a man.
I want to go back to this this thing, parity, because as soon as you're saying we're not on par, what you're doing is you're placing someone in importance higher than the other person. Do you see what I'm saying? When we're talking about parity, what are we saying? For me, we each have a role to play, which is equally important, right?
Yeah.
Your role might be to be head of the house. My role might be to be head of the house.
Which house? Have you ever seen a man who's head of a house? Really? Answer that. Have you ever seen a man who's head of a house?
But the man is the head of house.
Which house?
Do you remember last week I was talking about how the home is the woman's domain. It's her home.
Exactly.
Yes. So let's put it in a Christian thing. Say priest head. Let's say if you're a Christian and you think that you're going to lead your home and whatever.
The leader.
Yes, the leader. The point is, you being a leader does not mean your wife in her role is not at par with you. Do you see? So for me, I want to throw that whole thing of we are not at par. Yes, we are at par. We're equal human beings. Important are the roles that we play.
I think that is, sorry, to cut you short. I think that is where emancipation has been misunderstood.
Yes.
Yeah. Emancipation for me does not mean a woman becomes another man. Yeah,
because the home doesn't.
A woman has certain roles. Like I said, I prefer a woman to take care of the house, and they are not any less important than the roles of a man. Yeah, whatever they are, and if that means at that point you are at par, then parity is a thing.
Yes.
But the problem is that society has made some roles more important than others.
Yeah.
And it has been monetized. For me, a man has to be responsible, has to take care of his family, has to provide for his family. And what has happened is, even you, if you have a job and you find someone sitting in your chair to work with you, you start to become insecure. So if you take away some of these roles from a man, he feels unimportant.
It's like
that could be a cause of the problem.
Men want to be needed, and women need to be wanted, which is what the doctor was saying. You need to show affection, care, and it's the small things, I guess. As Ransom always says, take the time to say your hair looks nice. I slept well, to communicate and talk.
Now, based on that, I need to ask a question. Are we then adopting non-traditional ways that were not African, which are now disintegrating our society? Because I'll give you an example. Back in the day, there was hardly any divorce. And women had clearly defined roles. Women would, take care of the kids, would fetch the water, they would cook, they would milk the cows, and the man's job would be to herd the cows. Okay, but the society was working, the system was working. Now we are changing it, and
working for whom?
Exactly, that's the question.
Was working
I'm
for
sure you could see the question coming.
I kind of think it was working.
You fetch water 7 miles away in a jerry can. You're the weak member of the family, right? Why Why couldn't that strong, muscular man have gone to fetch the water?
If you think today, Peter, walk on the streets, drive, and you see some guy holding a little plastic bag. There's a woman with a baby on her back, and she's carrying a big bag on her head. And it's like
in some of those societies, that is how it happens. A woman doesn't make you right.
And it works. Society works.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It works for the men.
I think the problem has been now to tell that woman that what you're doing is less than what the other guy is doing.
Exactly. She's doing more. She's actually doing more.
The problem is you tell the guy that, listen, carry that bag, and he says no.
But when you go back to the Bible,
you're the man.
The woman was created to support the man.
Wait. Let me just say this. I think what Peter said, what you said was, I think you were wrong when you said our society is disintegrating. Society is evolving, and unfortunately, instead of people's roles evolving with it, you have, guys like me, as Ransom says, who get stuck in the old ways. Yeah. Like, no. And what we're saying is today's father, because you work in Namamve and the guy works in town, the lady says, can you pick up the kids? If you pick up the kids, you take them home, you shower them, you do homework. Because but they're saying, no, I can't. So you choose to go to the bar and wait for, so instead, the society is evolving. Mm-hmm. And I think that the proper way to do it might be to consider parity. But
I hear you. And that's why I was querying. Was it when the women have it? There are a lot of women. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's good for women to carry jerry cans and to plow using ox plows. No. However, when there are benefits of having clearly defined roles, as in saying this is for women, this is for men? Because my greatest fear is we're getting into a society where men are becoming less of men. And it's becoming more and more acceptable. Because somebody says, hey, after all, my wife is doing it. And women are also becoming more aggressive. I know society is changing. I know that a lot of things are not the way they used to be. But then that aggression is being coined rather as emancipation, and it's changing society for the worse, not for the better.
But you know what? Peter?
It's changing it for the better.
What happens a lot of times is for change, to change something that is nasty, that's happening in the society. And is being perpetrated by the people in power in that society. It's very difficult, and you usually need radicals to really push the change. It just happens. That's why you have revolutions, you have wars, or whatever. A few people get up and say, no, we can't. And it always seems like, these people want to disrupt the way of life that is working so well. No, it's only working for the guys who are having it good, which is why you find that in a place where rich people get taxed very little, and somebody says, no, you need to be taxed more, they will find all sorts of reasons why the little person should be taxed more than them. Yeah. It's just like that. But it's working. So if you're a man and you're in a position of power, and your being in power is serving your purposes, you can make more money, you can come home, put your feet up, and somebody else is taking care of everything else. Of course you want it to be like that. It's human nature.
But don't you know
it doesn't make it right, though.
But don't you know human beings are the only animals on this earth where the male species works harder than the female species?
No. Can I
look at lions. Look at birds. All birds. I mean,
let me tell you.
They get the male sits and gets fed. What's wrong with that,
Peter? Do your research. Agriculture in Africa, 80% of the workforce is what? It's women.
That's my point, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. But you said it's the only place where men work harder.
Technically, are expected to provide. They're actually expected to provide, and that's why I was saying you've taken a very, very good. You've made a very good point there in Africa, and that has been working. My point exactly. But now we're working for who?
If the women
you're beginning to think like sitting next to them.
If the women till the land and the men take the money, it's working for the men, but it's not working for the women. And what they're saying is give the women more dignity.
Yes.
I agree with the dignity part. I disagree completely.
I also want to disagree with the fact that what would happen to the poor males now who are around? They are unemployed. They are, you know, they don't make any money. Does that mean he should never get married? Because a beautiful partnership is a woman who's working, all right, who has the capacity to work, and they get married and raise a beautiful family. He stays at home, he cooks, you know. So it will come to that because it will come to that. If you did not have a job, what would you be doing? Your wife is working, right?
But you'll be.
I'll go back to dignity. I totally agree. I've always given this example. For example, if there is a knock at the door at my house at 3 in the morning, I cannot expect my woman to get up. It is that simple. I'm the one who gets up. If she gets up, fine, but I cannot expect her to do that. It's a very, very simple role. Yeah. Even me, then I expect my woman to look at the clothes I'm wearing. Yeah.
You're an adult, for heaven's sake. Why would you look at the clothes you're wearing?
Because she's my woman, I'm her image.
Do what you're good at.
At the end of the day, when I go out there,
we are discussing the responsibilities of the different partners in the home. As Dr. has said, she doesn't think that you should actually even ask her what you're wearing. Just put it on. But I hope you know when you go outside and look funny, so who's this? Who's right back after the break.
Who's that guy's wife?
And we are back here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel. And before we went into the break, Colin was just about to tell us how Ransom makes you. I don't know how you knew, or you wanted him to tell us. But Ransom, we may just get straight back to you. What would you advise when it comes to the whole sharing of roles, especially amongst kids?
Look, I mean, amongst kids, I truly, strongly believe that every child, boy, girl, should know how to do everything. You should just know. What you do with it afterwards is your own issue. It's like my kids. My kids have told them, yes, you want to go to these schools, we're going to do everything we can to give you the best education possible. After that, it's up to you what you do with it. Yeah? But you must have that skill. It's the same as my girls. I try and encourage them, you know, karate, taekwondo. Yes. What you use it for later on is up to you, but have the skill. Have the skill, yeah. So I really believe that it is important for the girl child to know this is what happens in the garden, and this is how things happen. This is how you slash. There's nothing wrong at all with having that knowledge. In fact, there's something wrong with not having it. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to know if you're washing dishes, right? Start with hot water and the glasses first so you don't get the grime in them. You know? Start with things like that. You need to be able to know how to iron. You know how many guys, single guys, walk around with shirts even though they have money?
You love ironing, Ransom. It's just a fetish you have.
No, it's not a fetish. I happen to be good at it.
Just to add on to that, I mean, there can't be anything bad about having more knowledge or knowing more things.
Yeah, that's true.
There can't. It only adds value.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the more things that you know, I mean, what are you saying? My daughter can't know how to slash because what?
No, I'm not saying she cannot know how to slash, but I will never make her slash.
I have no problem if my daughter knows how to slash.
She must know.
No, if she wants to do it,
you have a garden,
yes,
and it needs to be slashed. Let's say there's no gardener. Yeah,
I'll do it.
Right. But take your daughter in and say, "Come, let me show you how to do it."
Wait. I think what's happening here is Ransom has. You know, you have your beautiful daughter who's the apple of your eye. Ransom has discovered that at a certain age they're all just little rascals. They're all rascals. And so the best you can hope for is to give them the skills that will set them up for for life. I think is what
I don't know if that needs to be learned from someone who has children. I mean, I've been a child, and I can learn from how I grew up. It is not only just my parents. I went to this school where they made us do these things. It was, other people's children as well. And when you get out of those schools, you have better skills. Let
me give you another example. My wife comes from a family again of girls, and she just was a bit more technical in terms of changing plugs and things like that. So she knows how to do those things. This is what you do. This is the type of light bulb that you need for that. There's a bayonet, there's a screw in, there's all these things. So if somebody's not there, you're not going to sit there and say, but what do we do with that light? It's gone off. Let's wait until. You see, there's nothing wrong with having that knowledge. The thing is, yes, if I'm there and it involves climbing up on a chair or a ladder or whatever, it's a more physical thing. I am a man. Men, we're more physically built. Yes, that the role is more biased towards a man. So I will do those things. Yeah.
I even don't have a problem if she wants me to do it, because I feel useful. She knows I'm useful for that. But also, the number of things someone can do, gives you an idea of how they were brought up, or whether they can be able to take care of your family. Because when you meet someone and they're telling you stories that I never used to wash in school, they would pick my clothes, go and wash them, and then bring them back to school. And then I'm thinking, one, I have to be able to afford dry cleaning, or buy a washing machine.
But you see, in this day and age, she'll say, "I'll send my own clothes. Don't worry, I'll pay for my dry cleaning."
And it comes back to the emancipation that you're talking about.
Is that the relationship I want to be in? Maybe not. So
it's important to teach the children, but if you bring up a real rounded person, what knowledge they don't have, they can find. They can find. So I may not have been taught how to slash, but I suddenly have a garden that's got too much, I will slash it. I will find a way and I will slash it. So if your children really, this day and age, they're busy. Certainly Ugandan children spend hours at school and come back with so many hours of homework. One is really guilty. If one then adds on that and says, go wash the dishes. So I don't believe that an intelligent human being that I have sent to school, that I will not be able to cook. The boys, I did not personally, I don't like cooking myself, so I didn't even teach them to cook. Well, they get into university, they have a room, and they have a kitchen, they cook. They need to eat. They do. They cook. They may not cook matoke. First of all, it's not available.
Spaghetti and
they will. They'll cook what they like. Actually, they can actually cook the matoke now. When they were younger, they didn't like it. So I do not believe that it's up to me as a parent to, make sure they know everything. They have the schools. You talked about what you learned at school. For example, I went to Gayaza and. For some reason, I was never on the peeling team. The matoke peeling, never.
6 years?
No, I was there for 4. Maybe they would have put me there.
But you just missed out.
I missed out on the peeling. And at home, it didn't matter that I missed out. But I suddenly was in Zambia. And we there was no matoke, but we had mbide and, different types of bananas that we could cook as matoke. And I couldn't peel. Managed getting that skin off.
Somehow, rocket science.
Not rocket science. I got the peel off and we ate our matoke. So I don't believe it's up to us. You do the best you can, but you can't give them everything. But bring up a human being that thinks, that innovates, that can meet challenges. They will do it themselves. So it's not up to me as a parent. Give you all the skills you need.
I think also what happens is that some of these things, getting people to do these things, actually rounds them up. Because what I've realized is there's a lack of emancipation or empowerment or whatever. Because I do understand if I'm dating a last born child. Normally, a last born child, they're just from the cooker. While the older people are cooking, They're telling them, go away, you'll get burnt. So you don't expect them now to have learned how to cook. Yeah, but when they grow like a rounded person, I mean, they learn. But these days there's a lack of will, and then they will say, I mean, I can't cook. Why don't you cook? Then the impression there is they're giving you a job or a chore, and you won't enjoy it. No one wants to do something they don't enjoy. So that's where the problems begin. So it's like they are sending you, then you're sending them back, then it becomes a problem.
And I don't know if I would say I disagree somewhat with what you said about it's not up to us. I think for what we need to do as parents is to give them every opportunity to experience as much as possible. It's kind of important that if you there's an experience that's there and there's an opportunity for someone to experience it, push them to have a little dip in the pool and see what is this like.
Time flies when you're having fun. We're going to have our usual parting shot, and I'll start with you, Joseph. What is your final word about responsibilities?
For me, I think everyone has a responsibility. Everyone has a responsibility, and they're not unequal. And for me, that has been the problem. The problem is that women are better at support, and it is not less than what a man does, who is called the leader. It is not any less. That support, what you call support, bringing washing the children, cleaning the children, or
knowing the details.
To be precise, is not any less than going out to bring the money, because when you combine this, that's when you make a good family. I personally think there should be responsibilities; they should be shared. I do not want to marry a maid, and I've always said I like
so
very nice.
There's a problem with maids.
I like nice nails. So, but when the maid is in the house, I think the woman should be the one telling her what to do.
I think that in the division of responsibilities, again, in line with what we've said, it is important for there to be agreement between the spouse. This is how we're going to raise. The same way you think about, religion, the same way you think about schools, I think that there needs to be that decision between the parents and say, this is how we're going to raise our children. And then between the parents and say, this is how we will do this. So you choose, say, fees and this and this, and you divide that. So that, yes, it is true that if the situation arose, you might be able to help out. But your woman should never feel that you will be in the house and she will start climbing a stool and fixing the bulb. She should never feel, because at that point, I think you have become what Beyonce called, you failed to become irreplaceable. You've become dispensable. And that's a bad place to be.
Yes. Dr.
We can take on with Beyonce, girls. We rule the world.
Wow.
Roles are changing. We have to admit that. We are moving to the time where you will not even have a maid.
Yes.
It's coming. Minimum wage is going to be what? People are clamoring for minimum wage.
Yes.
It's $100.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to afford? Is the average family going to be able to afford a house girl? And maybe the answer is no. So we are coming to the stage where we will have to share the roles in the home.
Yeah.
And we are already sharing the roles of bringing in the money. Yeah. Sometimes it's the woman that brings in more money. That's the business women, the traders in Chikubo, they make a lot of money and they bring it home. So we have to live with that. So the roles are changing. I think what doesn't change is we are a man and a woman. If there's love in the home, if there's understanding, yes, I know you are working late tonight. I'll do the cooking. Right? You love the cooking. The others don't. But they will also do the cooking. And that's great. Yeah? So she comes home. Pizza. The kids will be very happy. You order pizza, that will make their day. Yeah. But at least you've thought about it. Most times you don't even think about it. You're just waiting for the food to somehow emerge from the kitchen.
Yeah.
So we are changing, and we have to accept that. And our roles are changing. I think that's the message that I want to leave. And the women are more educated, they're more capable, even in your roles. They were always more capable in the home, that's for sure. But now they're also more capable where the men were capable, which was all the various jobs in town. So, yeah. That's what
Scary.
I want to. It is scary, but it's a fact.
Ransom. Yeah, you know, I'll go back, maybe pick up a little bit on what Colin has said, because I used to say it a lot. You know, can two walk together unless they're in an agreement?
Yeah.
And it is about agreeing on the roles that you have. I don't think there's a template that we can create and say this, because as society is evolving, things will change. And I've also said it before that, you know, it's not really about how much money one makes or whatnot, because in my own situation, we've had situations like this where, you know, you're working on something and the money is not coming in, and somebody steps in and they're the ones who's writing that check, even though I might feel it's my job to pay school fees. It's being paid by my partner, who is on par with me in terms of being a human being, being a part of this family. That's what's important for us to take out, that it's about roles, and having different roles doesn't make any one of the partners less than the other one. There's no role that's more important than the other.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it on this special Wednesday night, because I call it special because of our guest. Dr. We're very happy to have had you here, and especially in a non-official capacity. And I think, you know, you've tamed Colin. It's amazing.
Can we please not go down the road?
He's always wild, but this time you pulled him onto your side, and I find that amazing. Colin, I believe you're now a changed man, which is a good thing. Until next week. Until next week, the real him comes out. That's it from us tonight. And we want to hear from you. Don't forget that this is your show, and your feedback is very important. We've had a lot of comments, some good, some bad, but that is what we need to know, because what you're thinking is what makes this show. You can follow us on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page, that's NTV Men, like it, and give us your comments. You can also follow us on Twitter, that's NTV_men, or send us a private email at men.ug. Have a good night, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
This is NTV.
A very good evening to you, and a warm welcome to Friday's NTV Weekend Edition, the 6th day of July 2012. The weekend starts here. Tonight we'll have the latest as rebels take control of the Democratic Republic of Congo side of the town of Bunagana, and as a result, 6,000 Congolese soldiers and an estimated 7,000 refugees fleeing to Uganda. We will have the latest tonight on the ground in Kisoro district. Don't go anywhere this Friday evening, starting right now with tonight's main headlines. Hundreds of Congolese soldiers fleeing to Uganda as Bosco Ntaganda led M23 rebels to capture the Bunagana border town.
Is the hunter becoming the hunted? You'll join me, Gabriel Epenu, for a story of how the former acting IGG could find himself in trouble with the law over alleged mishandling of funds meant to investigate Chogam scandals.
Even after many years of introducing a female condom in Uganda, many women are still shying away from it. In fact, the elites members of parliament can testify that some of them had never seen it. Jingo Francis with the detail of the story.
Uganda Cranes have been drawn to play the Chipolopolo of Zambia in the last round of the 2013 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. Join me, Alfred Odong, for the reaction of the officials and fans after knowing this fixture.
Once again, welcome to NTV Weekend Edition. I am Rachel Arinitwe. Now, later on in tonight's newscast, we'll be telling you how lawmakers are calling upon the government to avail free female condoms as a move to fight the HIV/AIDS scourge, which is on the increase in Uganda. So tonight in our NTV Weekend poll, we are asking, should female condoms be distributed free of charge as part of the ongoing fight against HIV/AIDS? I repeat, should female condoms be distributed free of charge as part of the ongoing fight against HIV/AIDS? To have your say, text your comment to 8778, followed by your name and where you're texting from, and we'll be reading some of your views during tonight's newscast. Now, moving on, tonight's main news. Hundreds of Congolese soldiers from the border town of Bunagana have fled into Uganda's Kisoro district after being overpowered by the DRC's M23 rebels in fierce clashes. The Ugandan Army spokesperson, Colonel Felix Kulaija, says the fleeing troops are currently in their custody and have been disarmed. The early morning clashes saw the rebels seize the town, which is just 8 kilometers from Kisoro district. Chris Ochamringa has tonight's top story.
The Congolese army, the FARDC, lost control of the Bunagana border town early this morning after fierce clashes broke out with rebels of the M23 movement led by Bosco Ntaganda. According to UN officials, one Indian peacekeeper was killed as the rebels took control of the town. Uganda's army spokesperson, Colonel Felix Kulaija, confirmed the presence of the DRC soldiers in Kisoro to NTV in a phone interview.
It's true, some of them have crossed over and we disarmed them. We are holding them until further notice. When the things are okay, we shall hand them back to the Congolese authorities. If the place remains in the hands of the rebels, then we have no choice but to hand them over to UNHCR.
The fighting between the DRC forces and the M23 rebels that's been going on for 3 months in the resource-rich region of North Kivu has driven more than 20,000 people into Rwanda and Uganda. The Kisoro resident district commissioner, Ahmed Doka, says the situation along the Ugandan border is calm.
We have some refugees at the transit center we have, and also some are within the community. Roughly about 20,000 the refugees, and the soldiers about 617, and with some about 60 policemen, officers also. They are now being brought close to the barracks, to our 63rd Battalion, so that they will just be there waiting for further management. And I think tomorrow we are expecting to hear more directives as to what we should do next.
The M23 rebels, many of whom are Congolese Tutsis, were integrated into the Congolese army in 2009 under a peace agreement, but defected this year allegedly due to poor conditions in the army. Their leader, Bosco Ntaganda, is a former fighter with the Rwandan Patriotic Army and is wanted by the International Criminal Court for war crimes, while he was the leader of the DRC's Patriotic Forces of the Liberation of Congo. The fighting in the DRC comes on the heels of a recent UN report that accuses the Rwandan government of backing a mutiny in the DRC. An accusation which the Rwandan High Commissioner to Uganda, Major General Frank Mugambaji, last week dismissed as ridiculous. The latest onslaught of the M23 rebels is said to be in retaliation to recent bombardments of their positions by the Congolese army. Chris Ochamringa, NTV.
Now, as intensive fighting in the Democratic Republic of Congo between the government forces and rebels continues, approximately 7,000 refugees have fled into Uganda. The Uganda Red Cross says they have registered 4,174 Congolese refugees since yesterday, and that a separate 3,000 refugees remain at the Bunagana border. Now, NTV's Sudhir Biaruhanga is currently in Kisoro and brings us the very latest developments on that particular story.
Right now in Kisoro, the situation is calm. The business is going on normally. It's like as if nothing happened. But during the day, the UPDF head of division, Western Uganda, spent the better part of the day trying to take records of the soldiers who fled from Congo, that is at the Bunagana border between Uganda and Congo. The place where the fighting took place is called Kalambo, about half a kilometer from the border. About 500 to 600 soldiers fled from Congo to Uganda, and these are the soldiers who play allegiance to the current sitting government in Congo. But the rebels are now in charge of the place, the camp where they've been, but it is said that the number of soldiers who were there before the fighting could have been more than 600. It was estimated that there were about 800, and there are fears that the 200 who are missing are either killed or captured by the rebels. Those who got injured, seriously injured, about 3 of them are at Motorere Hospital, that is in Kisoro, not far from town. And the head of the rebels is called Sultan Makenga. And it is said that they captured the place after taking some time doing intelligence network and then got these people by surprise and managed to take it over. There is not any much deployment as of now because the UPDF basically was today trying to take records of the soldiers who fled that area and disarming them. It is estimated they came with about 500 guns, and so they were all disarmed, and that is the policy for as long as you cross a country so of your origin, you're supposed to surrender the arms that you have. So the UPDF was registering every gun that they had and finding a way how they can put them in a safe place, and they will later decide whether to bring them to Kampala and later transfer them to Congo or hand them over to the Congolese government. There are some refugees who are coming in slightly numbers of tens and hundreds who are fleeing from the other side coming to Uganda. And this was as a result of the fighting that took place yesterday.
Thank you, Sudhir. Now, residents of Kateria County in Rubirizi district have stormed a police station in the area, demanding an explanation for the handling of a case of alleged defilement that happened over 2 years ago. Now, it's alleged that in 2010, a man only identified as Kadenge raped and impregnated a 15-year-old girl, a resident of Munyonyi in Katanda sub-county. The girl, now 17, later gave birth to a baby boy who went missing on Wednesday this week. However, police say no such case has been reported.
But we don't know. The disappearance of this juvenile's baby is what sparked off a demonstration by Kateria residents blaming police for failing to act in this case that dates back to 2010. The baby boy was kidnapped on Tuesday this week, and neighbors to his mother are pinning the alleged rapist to have a hand in this case.
Omwana ali buwejo tetwaye nangwa kikuru tukole ki mutwara tereke buwejo akugamba omwana hayi.
Last evening, some of the girl's neighbors went to the police to make statements about the kidnap and were told to return this morning, but they were still not satisfied.
Omupolisi wakunu atutangire kunuya ibira tugana omuhanda kuya tugana omuhanda w'omukazi yatugira ngo mwashwara kino cyanye kirakorwa kutwayika kunuya tine statement iba twihiraho neji twashwa twagaruka batugamira mu ije cyakari kandi twenda ngutambira ngo kwe cyarasa.
The police is not handling it the way it should do it. The complaints were done yesterday. They have not followed the matter to Kamwenje where he is.
When this lady was brought, we detained her. We have opened up a file. We are still doing what we have to start investigation. It's not to say that we have neglected the case.
Residents have vowed to resort to taking the law in their own hands if police fails to take serious action on this matter.
Now, across the border, Kenya Defence Forces say they will not succumb to what they termed as blackmail to withdraw from Somalia. Kenya's Chief of Defence Forces, General Julius Karanji, said KDF would only pull out after completing its mission. He spoke as the African Union mission in Somalia. AMISOM formally took command of the Kenyan forces there. From Nairobi, Maurice Mugisha reports.
The march that marked a transition for the men and women of the KDF who have been waging a tough battle against Al-Shabaab in Somalia. They showed off their new uniform to signify their formal rehatting from KDF command to AMISOM. Initially deployed to Somalia in October under Operation Linenchi in pursuit of Al-Shabaab militants, KDF will now operate as a full member of the AMISOM team in the war-torn country.
The integration of the Kenyan contingent therefore comes at a critical moment for the peace process in Somalia.
The ceremony comes amid increased attacks inside Kenya, the latest being the Garissa church's raid in which 17 people lost their lives. But the Chief of Defence Forces says the troops in Somalia are staying put.
The question of us withdrawing from Somalia is out as far as I am concerned as a soldier, unless I'm so ordered by the government. You never ever succumb to blackmail.
The government says KDF have in just under 8 months secured 16 towns from the Somali militia in central and southern Somalia. The KDF site is firmly focused on the port city of Kismayo, seen as a significant stronghold of the Al-Shabaab.
The cowardly terrorist attacks, which have caused so much pain to our people, illustrate the threat which the extremists pose to the entire region and have strengthened our determination to ensure that this menace is eradicated for good.
The KDF successes in swiftly liberating key towns in Gedo, North, Central and South Juba, aroused considerable interest and encouraged not only the African Union but also the United Nations.
The AMISOM mandate, under which the KDF is now operating, ends on October 31st. Whether the KDF will have achieved the initial goal of pacifying Somalia and keeping Al-Shabaab at bay remains to be seen.
Rehatting of the Kenya Defence Forces men and women today, even though ceremonial, does solemnize KDF's contribution to peace enforcement in the Horn of Africa nation, Somalia. Maurice Mugisha, NTV, Department of Defence Headquarters, Nairobi.
Let's now take a short break. There's still so much more ahead on NTV Weekend Edition, and here's what you can expect. MPs urge government to avail free female condoms to boost the fight against HIV infection amongst women in Uganda. And in our profile feature this week, we profile the man who designed NTV International Airport. NTV Weekend Edition continues after this break. Do stay tuned.
This is NTV.
Ice, baby. All right, stop, collaborate and listen. I sit back. Ice, baby. All right, stop, collaborate and listen. I sit back. Joanna, give me hope. Joanna, give me hope. Joanna, for the morning come. Give me hope. With different colors. One people. Different colors. One people.
You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, and know when to...
Nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, miaka rudi miaka nenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza.
be honest, it's one of the most scary genres of music for me. For me every day. Irifemasi nisu tadi magero.
It's party time every day at 4:30 p.m. Feel the music. Try out your favorite dance. It's party time every day at 4:30 p.m.
Weekend edition. Now, lawmakers are calling upon the government to avail free female condoms as a move to fight the HIV/AIDS scourge, which is on the increase in Uganda. The Ministry of Health last week announced that the number of HIV/AIDS infected Ugandans had increased at a rate of 7.3% from 6.4%, and it's higher among women at a rate of 8.3%. Now, as a result, the national community of women living with HIV/AIDS have embarked on a sensitization campaign to reduce the scourge with emphasis on the use of female condoms. Jingo Francis reports.
This is how a female condom looks like. It's not common due to the negative perception Ugandans have developed, not only among men but women as well. Even after introducing it on the market several years ago, many Ugandans cannot afford it.
It's around 10,000. And when you compute, many of the people who require to use this condom, they are almost below they are living below the poverty line.
The recent announcement by Ministry of Health puts the HIV prevalence rate at 7.3% and that women are more vulnerable to catching the disease than men. The World Organization also says Uganda spends 17.6 billion shillings every year to treat complications resulting from unsafe abortions. It is estimated that approximately 300,000 women carry out abortions per year, and 68,000 of those women die as a result.
And so the female condom is going to help us, the female youth, prevent abortions, prevent unwanted pregnancies and therefore abortions and therefore death. Two, it will prevent HIV and AIDS.
The national community of women living with HIV and AIDS have embarked on a sensitization campaign to reduce the scourge and abortion-related cases, putting more emphasis on the use of a female condom.
There is no being stuck. I want to get a positive attitude towards removal. It is very easy.
The campaign kicked off today in Parliament for male and female members. They underwent training on how to use it, but as the session went on, most of the MPs in attendance were ignorant about the female condom.
I had never seen a female condom. Today is my first time to interface with a female condom. But I am now an adult, as you can see.
You know, I'm a legislator. I am a very active young person. And I'm seeing the female condom for the first time.
The MPs are demanding that they should be availed to the public free of charge if HIV and AIDS is to reduce, especially among women.
For bathrooms of this parliament, we don't have a cupboard for female condom, but we do have cupboards for male condom. If you go to the facility in the morning, by evening you will find that most of the condoms have disappeared.
I have a lot of sex workers in Mbiko and they would be excited to get them. Would you give them to us and we be able to distribute them to the people so that I can bring my pickup and take as many as possible?
Jingo Francis, NTV.
And it's on this issue that is our focus of our NTV Weekend poll for tonight. And we are asking, should female condoms be distributed free of charge as part of the ongoing fight against HIV/AIDS? I repeat, should female condoms be distributed as part of the ongoing fight against HIV/AIDS? To have your say, text your comment or view to 8778. Remember to leave your name and where you are texting from. We'll be reading some of your comments even right now. We have Lydia Lynn in Gulu saying yes, but there should be serious training to the females all over the country on how to use the female condom. And we have Charles in Kabarole disagreeing, saying there should be a cost to check the level of prostitution as women. That's coming in from Charles. Thank you so much for your comments. Keep them coming. The number once again is 8778. We'll be reading some more at the very end of tonight's newscast. Now we'll take you back to our top story on the fighting in Kisoro. Our reporter Sudir Biaruhanga is at the scene and brings us the very latest images.
The situation in Kisoro is calm and business is going on as usual. The people are all doing their own things like it has always been on a normal day. But today the head of the Western Division commander, that is UPDF, was documenting all the soldiers who fled from Congo, that is at Bunagana border, and was taking records of every soldier. There are about 600 soldiers, but according to the resources that we have, there were more than 600 soldiers that were at the camp in Bunagana before the fighting took place. Or the camp where they have been called Karambo, about half a kilometer from the border of Uganda and Congo from Kisoro.
Plan to take them to a more convenient place where they can have rest, wash, sleep, well, and have what to eat.
And what was the reason of Makenga?
It is believed that the rebel leader is called Sultan Makenga, who are now in charge of the place that was formerly occupied by the Congolese rebels. We shall be bringing you more of the updates from Kisoro, and as the days go on and as more stories keep coming in.
Ya transport na bino pona esika oyo tokende kosala mabongiseli mosusu.
Plan to take them to a more convenient place where they can have rest, wash, sleep, well, and have what to eat.
The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association has overwhelmingly backed a motion that African governments implement the Abuja Declaration signed by heads of state to allocate 15% of their national budgets to the health sector. The motion was moved by Zambia and seconded by Uganda. As Agnes Nanduti reports from South Africa, parliaments from the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association partner states want to ensure that mothers in the African continent do not die while giving birth to a new life.
In most African countries, many women and their newborn babies die during birth because of lack of adequate health facilities and health workers in hospitals. Now, Parliament speakers, deputies and members of Parliament from over 19 countries of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Africa region are converged here in Sandton City, South Africa, to discuss a way forward to save the lives of mothers and their newborn children, among others.
I don't know whether they're aware that there is a lot of capital flight from Africa. Many of our doctors and nurses are working outside Africa. So we need to address the issues of remuneration and retention so that they can stay in the country and work. And also ensure proper delivery of goods, drugs and supplies to the hospitals.
We cannot afford to have people who bring life to die during childbirth, which is an important statement and also said by a man. So it is those issues that needs to be discussed.
In a motion moved by Zambia and seconded by Uganda, these African lawmakers want to ensure that maternal mortality and mobility is eliminated on the African continent through the empowerment of women.
I would like to see it come out as part of the resolutions because government signed, it's in the treaty, they signed about it. They are also, because if they don't sign, then they're discriminating against women.
CPA country branches to task their executive, who then in turn should task their heads of state to effect their promise to the women of Africa.
It is the women in Africa that contribute the biggest percentage to our economies. So if we don't cater for their health, then that is a big problem.
The 43rd CPA conference that ends Saturday will also forge ways of strengthening the African parliaments to improve accountability and safeguard national development. Agnes Nandutu, NTV, Sandton City, South Africa.
Now he is one of the brains behind iconic structures such as NTV International Airport and Namugongo Martyrs Shrine. Now at the age of 86, engineer Pascal Lunova lives a quiet life in NTV. And in this week's profile feature, Maurice Ochol caught up with him to find out how he began as one of the fast professional engineers in the country.
By the look at the new Entebbe International Airport, one would wonder how and when it was constructed. This new airport was born in 1940s after the old airport could not handle the facilities anymore. 70 years down the road, one of the brains behind it, Engineer Pascal Lunova, is still alive and kicking. I then caught up with him at one of his homes here in Chitoro in Entebbe, where he lives with his family.
I was born on Good Friday. It was a Good Friday, 29th March 1929 at Masaka. It was at Kanablim, Uganda, the place called Uganda, at my grandmother's.
After finishing junior school, which is an equivalent of an ordinary level, he went to St. Henry's College, Chitovu, where he finished his A-level, and then joined Naka Vocational, where he did engineering.
And from 45 I left Bikira, 46 I came to Chitovu. I did not leave it until 1952. I could not distinguish, but I had the idea of a building, because when I was at school, down there in primary school, we put up a church, Nazareth Church, and I was one of the workers, of the potters. So one of our teachers used to tell us we should learn how to build.
After completing his engineer studies, one of his first jobs was in Gulu, where an airfield was to be designed and constructed.
The first job I did was to make a good airfield for 2 years.
With this vast experience in the late 1930s, the government was looking out for engineers to construct and design the new Entebbe airport. It's at this point that engineer Lunova had his breakthrough.
I did well in building. I had done some practical work at Jinja. They chose us, about 4 people.
I then asked him what was the most challenging thing that the team met while they designed and constructed the airport.
It was security. And you know what happened? There was a time when the outsiders came and took away the property.
In 1973, Engineer Lunova also involved in the construction of the Namugongo Mata Shrine that is now not only a worship place but now a major tourism site. With the engineering profession comes title and perhaps fat checks, but for Engineer Lunova, the benefits of his profession are from a very unlucky source, and he appreciates it more in his old age.
I don't regret. In fact, I'm thankful. As an engineer, engineering needs a lot today because of the expansion.
To the 83-year-old retired engineer, this is his take on what it takes to be in his shoes.
One has to make up a mind. Even if you meet a problem, you try to resist somewhere. You find problems everywhere.
Engineer Lunova has only one wife and 10 children, though none of them has followed in his father's footsteps. He has managed to construct a number of rental houses in Kampala and Entebbe, which he reaps from his retirement. Maurice Ochol, NTV.
Now let's take a look at more news making the headlines across Uganda this Friday evening. At Buganda Road in Kampala, Wandegea police have rescued 3 street kids whose dwelling place was an underground tunnel. Police spent approximately 20 minutes to persuade the kids to come out of the tunnel. Boda riders allege that the kids hide in this risky tunnel each time they commit a crime. The teens, however, denied stealing from anyone or abusing substances. Police spokesperson for Kampala Metropolitan, Ibn Sekumbi, said the rescued kids are in their custody as they try and establish how they ended up on the streets in the first place.
These children, because of having no other means of survival, they had resorted to snatching bags and people's properties because of trying to get food and any other means of their survival. Managed to rescue 3 who are now being kept at Wandegea police station as investigations go on.
Meanwhile, a man has been arrested by KCCA officials today for trespassing. The drama ensued when the man resisted arrest.
He has a gun. Have I
put anybody on any point? You were here.
But I did not see him footing.
Please,
it is alleged that the suspect claimed to be a police officer and was armed. KCCA officials accused the man of misusing his gun by putting them at gunpoint, while the man accused the officials of trying to disarm him. KCCA were in town as part of an ongoing crackdown into the illegal use of posters when they came across the unidentified man trespassing. Now, in a case of what could be the hunter becoming the hunted, former Acting Inspector General of Government and now First Deputy IGG Raphael Baku may well find himself in incarceration following investigations against him over abuse of office and conspiracy to defraud government. Some of the accusations against Baku include the mismanagement of funds given to the Inspectorate of Government to investigate Chogam scandals and an illegal purchase of land on behalf of the office of the IGG. Baku's term of office as acting IGG has been plagued by accusations of foul play in prosecuting corruption suspects and allegations of being used by top government officials to witch hunt adversaries. Baku declined to make a public comment but stated that he was not aware of the allegations against him, but said that if they do exist, they are only flimsy charges. Gabriel Epenu reports.
Continue to investigate Chogam this week.
Following Justice Irene Mulyagonja's official assumption of office yesterday, reports are rife that plans are underway to prosecute former acting IGG and now deputy to Mulyagonja, Raphael Baku, over the misappropriation of 930 million shillings meant for Chogam investigations. Some say the money, derived from a supplementary budget, was a waste of resources since the investigation was within the mandate of the IGG's ordinary schedule. Seen as one of the reasons he was not confirmed as the Inspector General of Government, Baku is being investigated over the allegations from a whistleblower. It is said that only half of the 930 million was used, with the accountability including payment of honorarium and additional duties that otherwise should have not been paid for. In yet another scandal, Baku was also late last year interrogated by the Inspector General of Police Lieutenant General Kale Keihura over the questionable sale of land by a state corporation to the Inspectorate of Government. The two bodies entered the deal to lease the land on plots 24 and 26 on Clement Hill Road and 71 and 74 on Yusuf Lay Road in October last year at 5.4 billion shillings. Baku is said to have initiated and concluded the deal for the purchase of the land in just a day. The process neither followed the Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Act nor the Inspectorate's internal process. President Museveni later ordered for investigations into the allegations that there was a lot of foul play in the deal. When contacted by NTV, Baku said he is not aware of the charges, but added that he is open to investigation. Meanwhile, the DPP's office has said they are yet to receive a charge file on Baku from the police.
I've cross-checked. We have not received any file from the police in respect of the query that you're raising. None has been submitted to us. I have cross-checked the information from our registry. We don't have such files. How would we know that if we have not received the file from the police? You can only anticipate a prosecution if you have a matter that has been forwarded to you.
Baku has been acting IGG since 2009 and has investigated former Vice President Gilbert Bukenya and Ministers John Nasasida, Sam Kutesa, Mwesigwa Rukutana, Mike Mukula, Alex Kamugisha and Jim Muhwezi, among others. Gabriel Epenu, NTV Weekend Edition.
Now, in your weekly dose of laughter this week, Moses Golola is back, and despite facing defeat last weekend, he is as always not short for words as he explains his latest injury.
His ear was bite off.
I am the man who can just look at the woman and she gets pregnant. Where did you train from?
You should leave issues of the journals to the journals.
You want another rap?
Yeah, Susan.
Honorable Odota Yewa. The newly sworn-in member of Parliament for Ishaka Municipality with the famous Ingrid Tunawe dancing to the tunes of Matthias Walukaga. The current famous tune, Bakou, literally meaning they are tired. And you, Uganda Dr. Besige, when will you announce your retirement? Gone are the days when you used to suffer in the bush. Now that you can enjoy the dance like this. But surely, Ingrid, for you, I understand you. They tear gas you, they squeeze your breasts. Why can't you get tired and enjoy your music? Ategwe Seruganda Golola, onolangirira dinto koye. Naki beat your hands down, but you still cannot announce that you are tired. Zamboke came and you duped Ugandans that you will beat him.
Zamboki knows me because I'm the man who has the PhD in pain. I don't feel pain. I have trained enough. I'm a rock. He's going to hit me, but he's going to feel pain because I'm a PhD of pain. So when the ring bang bang, let the punch and kicks decide.
You drank lots of our fruit juice, ate the chicken, fish, vegetables, mentioned but a few. You were munching the Irish potatoes like you were dying tomorrow. But when it came to the ring, you kept running around the ring with a lot of fear. You ate our food for nothing.
Yeah, what happened? I slided in the corner. My leg, my knee got a dislocation. So by the time I was standing, the knee was turning up.
You did what?
Nzerede mukona walieri okugulu nekufuna dislocation.
People paid their money anticipating for a win, and then you just surrendered.
What I want to tell my fans, they should not lose hope. Yeah, this is Gola Mothers of Uganda. Yeah, it's just a dislocation. It's not a knockout.
You think we did not see you being knocked down?
I'm still strong, but it's just a slight mistake which I got in the leg.
Now my fans are advising you to either join Mike Check, Theatre Factory, or Amarua Family. That is where you belong, man.
Thank you very much.
Agnes Nandu too. Point blank.
Point blank. All right, now Joe Kamadi is standing by to bring us the very latest in NTV Sport. Joe, good evening. What do you have in store for us?
Good evening, Rachel, and thank you very much. Now, I hope Uganda will not be sliding in any corner whatsoever because officials have cautioned against celebrations and called for collective preparations of Uganda Cranes ahead of the 2013 AFCON qualifiers against Zambia in Lusaka and Kampala. I'll be giving you more on that in NTV Weekend Sport up next.
This is NTV.
It's party time every day at 4:30 p.m. Feel the music. Try out your favorite dance strokes. Watch the latest music videos from artists around the world as you dance to the beat.
Girl, you got me screaming fiesta. Body language saying whatever.
Only on The Beat, Monday to Friday on NTV, your official groove station. Your Saturday afternoons just got better on NTV with Exposed. Join Cats and the Platinum DJs as they bring you some mad DJ skills and crazy video mixes.
You're now rocking with the best. Catch us every Saturday as we live. We'll take you through an experience you'll never forget.
Remember to call in with your music requests and also get a chance to win some incredible goodies. That's every Saturday from 1:30 p.m. only on NTV, the station that digs your music. Your Saturday afternoons just got better on NTV with Exposed.
Emmese yali ku the last piece of a jambye yali muhadi wa yonna.
No, bloody way, holy moly.
We've just met. How can I be your friend? Mr. Rashmond. Okuzimba nyumba nga kintu kizibu nnyo banange mugumire mu bupangisa. Come.
I'm called Olar Oton. There's no English name. Just like resistors.
Emmese yali ku the last piece of a jambye yali muhadi wa yonna.
No, bloody way, holy moly.
We've just met. How can I be your friend? Mr.
Emmese yali ku the last piece of a jambye yali muhadi wa
Welcome to NTV Weekend Sport. I am Joel Kamadi. Now, officials have cautioned against celebrations and called for collective preparations of Uganda Cranes ahead of the 2013 AFCON qualifiers against Zambia in Lusaka and Kampala. The fans, though, have their reasons for being expectant, as Alfred Odong reports.
Uganda Cranes will play Africa Cup of Nations reigning champions Zambia in the last round of the 2013 Nations qualifiers. The highly anticipated draws held in Johannesburg left the fans, Uganda Cranes players and officials excited over being paired with the Chipolopolo of Zambia.
I believe the game we played at Nambole was an attacking game, and if we went ahead and played an attacking game, we shall get the result.
Yes, actually, we are going to play a champion of Africa, but the way I look at it, we have one advantage. We are playing our last game at home.
Coach Jackson Mayanja has however cautioned the public over being confident.
Now, first of all, I would thank my God because the draw wasn't that bad, because what we expected didn't come. Now we expected what we never expected is Zambia. But I'm just alerting everybody, every Ugandan fan, let's not be excited, even the players, that we should not be excited. Let's keep focused because the mighty Zambia are the team which know us and we also know them.
The games are to be played in September in a home and away format. Alfred Odong, NTV Sport.
Now, to shed more light on this, we are glad to have the FUFA Vice President Technical, Livingstone Chambade, with us in the studio. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Now, Livingstone, Uganda has been drawn with African champions Zambia in the AFCON qualifiers. What are our chances?
I think our chances are bright, and we have a lot of hope in that fixture. It was a fair draw.
Now, from what we saw, there have been overwhelming celebrations and reactions from the draw yesterday. Is it really worth celebrating?
Well, I think it isn't. People had to because, of course, they look at Zambia as a simple team. But that was then. But now, Zambia is the champion for Africa. Okay. So it gives us a lot of homework. Our players have to be mentally alert and strong. So it will be a mind game. because as you see people shouting and the players are getting excited, that means that we have to do a lot as technical team to make sure that we bring those minds down to earth, to show them that it's a match which will take us on the other side, and it's not an easy match. We have to concentrate and we have to forget Zambia the past and know that we are playing Zambia the champion.
Okay, now just give us an insight, because with all the wrangles going on between our governing bodies and citing the fact that the league may not have kicked off then, will this affect our chances?
It won't, because most of our players on the team play professional football. So by then the leagues there would have started, and we hope to have them maybe in the minimum of 2 weeks. So the local players we have here, I think some of them, like Massa plays for URA, they'll be playing in Sekafa. So you see that even the players who are involved will still be. But it will be an effect, because maybe somehow people won't be watching football, but we promise them that it will not affect us.
Okay. Now, Zambia coach Herve Renard said after yesterday's draw, and I quote, "As champions, we are always under pressure to impress, especially against small teams." Now, do you think Cranes are a small team, and can this play to our advantage, seeing many will view the Cranes as underdogs?
I think after taking all those 38 years without qualifying for the cup, the coach is right to say we're small. But on that day, that's when we'll prove that we were not small. Because until we beat them, we will still remain small.
And finally, what are your predictions?
Well, I don't predict much technically, but I promise that we are going to win the match and let everybody just be behind us. Let's do our part, because it's a division of labor. Technically, we're going to do our part. The players will play. You, the press guys, will help us. And then the fans should also do their part.
Thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Now, that has been FUFA Vice President Technical Livingstone Chambade with us. Now, moving on to kickboxing, and Abubakar Kabunga has handed Uganda a world title after registering a knockout against Scraps Hazeri of Albania in the 10th round of the welterweight fight in Germany. The 29-year-old has 6 months to defend his accolade against numerous calls from Europe, Asia and America, but financial constraint is hindering his interest in hosting the bout in Kampala.
From me and from South America, Europe, they want to challenge me. They would like me to fight in their countries, but me as a Ugandan, since I want this belt for Ugandan, I prefer to bring that title fight here in Uganda. But sponsorship is needed, support from Ugandans. And lastly, I would like to thank Moses Golola for promoting this sport here in Uganda.
Now, Luzira SS have retained the Kampala Schools Under-15 Football Championship with a win over St. Peter's in Zambia in the final played at All Kampala. Chibuli SS claimed the girls' netball title as officials look to identifying talent at an early age.
Kampala government-aided schools under-15 football and netball championships concluded this evening with the Luzira and Chibuli SS claiming the titles. Luzira retained the boys' football title after beating St. Peter's in Zambia by 3-1 in the final played at Old Kampala Secondary School. Chibuli girls did their school proud, coming top in the netball round-robin competition. The tournament, initiated in 2010, is aimed at helping the youngsters improve on their confidence as well as identifying their potential outside formal education.
They can get employed and also earn a living from other activities, not only academically. So we prepare students both morally, physically and academically, such that they are able to fit in the society.
Organizers are in advanced plans to include other disciplines and work with respective federations to broaden the youngsters' options in life. Alfred Odong, NTV Sport.
Now, finally, in international sport, Andy Murray showed incredible resolve to get the better of Joe Wilfred Tsonga and become the first British man in 74 years to reach the Wimbledon final. He will face Roger Federer, who overcame world #1 and defending champion Novak Djokovic. Roger Federer is one win away from a 7th Wimbledon title after booking his place in a record 8th final by dethroning reigning champion Novak Djokovic. The Swiss, who has 16 Grand Slam titles in all, was at his very best against a strangely subdued Djokovic under the centre court roof. He forced the Serbian to commit 24 of the type of careless errors that have been absent on a stunning run of form that had seen him win 4 of the last 6 majors. Federer 3 times his victim at the semi-final stage and wrapped up a 6-3, 3-6, 6-4, 6-3 success in 2 hours and 19 minutes. Andy Murray will face Roger Federer in his first final at Wimbledon after beating Jo-Wilfried Tsonga 6-3, 6-4, 3-6, 7-5. The Brit was in sizzling form and serving particularly well as he raced into a 2-set lead before Tsonga broke him early on in the 3rd set and went on to take it. But Murray regained his composure to win a tight 4th set and give himself a shot at Wimbledon glory.
This is NTV.
That's all the sport we had for you this weekend. Back to you, Rachel.
Thank you very much, Joel. A quick one before I let you go. What do you think, or rather, what are your predictions for the Zambia-Uganda game?
Well, I think the Cranes will draw in Zambia. But at the game in Nambole, I think the Cranes will win.
You think the Cranes will
win? I'm
win?
not giving any goals, but I think the Cranes will win.
All right. Well, we definitely wish them all the best. All right, that was your sports. Coming up, we'll take a very quick break, but when we do return, we'll be right back with your comments from our weekend edition poll.
This is NTV.
Kwene embeera y'abasajja bano essuubi nga lyakuggwamu mama bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale
sogera byange kibanda bana bagamba nga nebagamba ne bwagala nkubulira ebyange ja tugende emyanzi
mpulira abanyumya babeera bakujerega waliko omusawo w'ekinansi South Africa baba bakujerega obituufu
baba banjerega oyo mufere mubbi yennyini yeetaaga miggo
omuntu wa bulijjo tomuzannyirangako abeeranga dormant volcano bwemba mukkiriza nina takuwa mugiyita
ate takuwa gobeera mugoberezi tolowooza nti buli mulimo oyogerera omusiraamu senga naakubuuza nti katonda yagamba atya
oba oli pasita ng'okyawa olimba obba oyenda olina abakazi basatu please heaven is waiting for you. One day you'll pay and soon your time is out.
Otisa moni.
Sitisa. Nkubulira Yesu talimba.
Ebintu mbimala mulundi gumu. Kati what is I love peace.
Gwokola byo.
Wegase n'omusajja mutwale mabi.
Knock. A message yali ku the last piece of a jambia yali muhadi wa yonna.
No, bloody way, holy moly.
We've just met. How can I be your friend? Mr. Rajmond. Okuzimba nyumba nga kintu kizibu nnyo banange mugumire mu bupangisa. Come.
I'm called Olar Oton. There's no English name. Just like resistance.
A message yali ku the last piece of a jambia yali muhadi wa yonna.
No, bloody way, holy moly.
We've just met. How can I be your friend? Mr. Rajmond. Okuzimba nyumba nga kintu kizibu nnyo banange mugumire mu bupangisa. Come.
I'm called Olar Oton. There's no English name. Just like resistance. Yakazol.
I blame you. You have option of getting international husband. Why do you get the broken?
A message yali ku the last piece.
Welcome back. I'll quickly take you back to tonight's NTV weekend poll, and we asked, should female condoms be distributed free of charge as part of the ongoing fight against HIV/AIDS? Thank you so much for all your responses. I'll quickly read a few before I head out of here. Kansime Greens in Nyabushozi saying, yes, if men's condoms are distributed free of charge, Why not women's condoms? And yet our specific objective is to fight against the syndrome. Two-way traffic can yield better results. And we have Jose in Arua saying yes, because the ladies also need protection since most ladies are jobless. And finally, Nicholas in Mubende saying yes, it should be distributed free because male condoms are becoming expensive. Thank you very much for all your responses to tonight's NTV poll. And that brings NTV Weekend Edition tonight to a close. I am Rachel Renitwe, wishing you a very good night and a great weekend.
This is NTV.
Every time you come around, you know what I feel like doing to you. Rukundo, don't waste my time. If you know what I want, just give it to me.
Today we bring you Jackie Chandiru, a former member of the Blue Three who had to be pushed to take a step in which he has found pride and happiness. Born to a Lugbara father and a Muganda mother, Jackie Chandiru is one of Uganda's leading female R&B artists and vocalists. Jackie kicked off her musical career in 2004